Hello there, and welcome back to TakenOffAir with Stefan asking if is anybody ready as he's pressed the record button and the countdown hits 2, which is a bit late to ask if everyone's ready.
You could have quickly said no.
Just because you're sitting there with your fucking Kurt
To be
Cobain
fair,
hair and your glass of wine
I am 27,
does not
sir.
mean you can just decide on things.
He's just gone full hipster, that's what it is.
What's this on my phone?
No,
I'm not a hipster. Jay's a hipster.
dudes. He's sitting with wine and he's got long hair and he's not taking notice of
I'm not
anybody and just starting things before the countdown's finished.
I'm a
He's
king.
just been talking about the fucking French. He's acting like a Frenchman.
That is
Oh,
a
shit, I
good
need
point.
mead so then I can be a king.
Stefan,
King Henry IV.
shave the beard and leave a moustache and curl it at the ends. Start hanging garlic around your neck and...
You
carry the
have
ends.
missed 2 months of me having an actual just moustache.
Yeah, he just had a porno stash and he did try and curl it, but it
The
didn't
last
work.
shave I had just the soul patch
No.
on the tash. It looked kind of interesting. It was a little bit conquistador.
Soul tash.
Also, while we are here, let me introduce old friend who hasn't joined us for some time, but is back for I'm not too sure how long.
Old mate Phil.
Whether it's like 5 minutes or an hour, or he's just going to get murdered in the background, and then we're going to realise he's gone missing 2 days later. It's
Hopefully an
Philip.
episode. Hopefully he's here for the episode.
I really wish you'd stop using my full name on this, though.
Yeah, it's Flip.
It's Flip.
You only said Philip. It's not like you said your name and address and fucking...
Like Jay did with mine, and you
Yeah.
all did with mine.
national insurance number.
And Kyle's address.
What? Explain the national insurance.
Yes,
So
number first.
Kyle was here. Kyle said...
These
Kyle said-
assholes gave away my entire address.
Kyle said, don't use my full name, and I went, what? It's not like we said you live in said the town. Jay went, yeah, on said the street, and I went, we didn't say it was number said the thing. Jay was like, I didn't say the postcode was said the thing. Kyle was just like, fuck you. So then we had to beat it all out.
That was a lot of editing on my behalf.
It was about time you did
Well,
something.
you
Yeah,
started it.
so I apologise for everybody listening, but if you can find the episode, it will just say beep, 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 beep.
And if you want to subscribe to our Patreon for, what should we set this at, Jay? 50 quid? Jay will send you the original unedited audio clip.
Fuck you. No, you will not.
You can
Fuck
pay
you.
us by
I
going
do not
to
want my address.
patreon.com/TakenOffAir.
I do not want my address spammed, thank you very much. By the way,
For
while we're on the
good
subject
cause.
of like Patreon stuff, Jay, did the person you were talking to actually realise you were part of the cast when they recognised the merch you were wearing? Not at
No.
Jay
all.
was recognised, well, Jay's merch was recognised, but not the Jay.
Yes, Jay was recognised for wearing a Taken-Off-Air. Was it the cap or the t-shirt or
it's
something?
hoodie.
He
Had to
was
be the
recognised
cap,
for
you
the
wouldn't see
merch.
the
His hoodie, probably.
It's too
He lives
far
in his
now.
hoodie.
I do live in hoodies, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Well, no, because Phil, if you tripped over him and looked down, you'd see the logo on the top of the cap.
Ah, good point, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, so the merch got recognised, but they didn't realise that Jay was part of the show or anything. They didn't recognise his
Because he's
voice.
How did
and
they
they
not
mustn't have seen his
recognise Jay's
camera.
voice? It's very distinctive.
Yeah, Jay's
It
the
is
most
very
distinctive, I would say, out of us.
Yeah, I'm like a
We just
Mickey
sound like
Mouse.
generic northerners.
I'm like a northern Mickey Mouse.
He-
That's what I sound like.
I think you said Nicky Mouse.
I mean, to be fair, if you did your clown laugh, they might have recognised you. Because I think that's the most distinct thing
No,
you
like-
do on this
Are
show.
you ready? Kyle, I'm going to make Jay do that laugh at least twice this
Right.
episode.
So basically,
Oh,
the
God.
story goes, I was working on a super secret film.
9 to 5. What, the Indiana Jones one that no one knows about and hasn't been in the news every
What a
day?
way to make a
Yes,
living.
it's
You two have gone 9 to 5, and I was going to go on the chain gang.
it,
Working.
Well, that's
it
because
is
we're
that
straight.
secret film that you just said there that no one knows about.
Can
And
you
I was-
talk about the one that had the 223?
And Jay will have to beep
I was
out.
on the front page.
Oh, I
of
didn't know if he could say it
every
because he's...
single news article.
Yeah, and you put it on Facebook saying, look, Matt, I'm on the news. With all the
Yeah.
articles saying what the film was, but I'm not allowed to say on here. What kind of bullshit is this?
What was it? Did you use the picture that I sent you? Did you
Why
actually
am I the
go
one
and
that
find
gets
that
censored?
picture?
I think my ma's got it. I think it's on the
Talk about the
fridge.
film that has the German armoured car in it, yeah.
That's the film.
Ah, the 223. That was cool.
Wait, have I sent you the pictures of the bikes?
Kyle?
No, you didn't send me the pictures of the R75s, no.
Mate,
But I saw the,
Ah,
I
so
saw
awesome.
the picture of the trail ad. SDK said 223.
Yeah, I've only ever getting screenshots
I'm a
off you.
military history enthusiast.
We've never gotten
so-
any original photographs.
And anybody who isn't
Phil,
into
you've missed
military
a lot
or
of...
cars or anything, they're talking about military vehicles from the 1940s.
No.
You'll
I
you'll
If you
believe-
don't know what it
I
is,
believe
do your
the
research.
223 was entered production in 1937.
Well, I thought it was 39.
Distinctive
Will it-
from the SDKF 222 because the 222 had a 2 centimeter flak gun and the 223 just had a MG34.
And the
Can you
224 look
say-
totally fucking different.
Can you say 2 anymore?
222. I could go with
22.
Sonderkraftwagen.
The 223 didn't have a 2-2 in it.
I will put you both in a fucking pink tutu and make
Okay.
you dance to the ballerina.
Sonderkraftwagen 222. 223.
Does it count as not saying 2-2 if it's
I
in
don't know.
German?
What are you saying?
Why is Jay
What's
saying
Zwei?
it?
Zwei. It's a V. Zwei. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
An
9, 10.
1, 3, 1, 1, 2,
2, 3, 4,
3.
5.
1, 2, 3,
1, 2,
4,
3.
5,
I
6,
always
7.
get dry and zwei mixed up.
Your pronunciation's terrible, Jay.
Act 9.
Aus.
Act 19.
Ein. That is a good point. That is a very good point. It's right that you pronounce
Yeah,
German.
none
that
of
way.
Yeah, I was going to say.
yeah. How can any of us learn a different language when we
It
can't
would be-
actually
it would
speak
be-
our own?
I would be immediately suspicious if I'd struggled to understand Jay at certain points in our life for fucking years and then suddenly he spoke perfect German.
I mean, it would make sense if you did it.
Well, thanks.
Although, to be honest,
So you are the German.
I love German. German's a great language.
Thanks for that guy.
It can be very aggressive or
I
I
very
know, I don't know why.
different. You don't get a choice.
It can be very aggressive. Just can be. Not mostly is
Well, no,
all the
'cause
time.
I'm sorry, but mobile phone.
Right,
Mein
okay.
Handy.
Wo ist mein Handy?
To be
Bitte,
fair, if
please.
you
Handy.
Bitte, wo ist mein Handy?
if you say, to be fair, there is two ways of saying it. There's the way of sounding like you, the submissive one, going, "Oh, mein
You just
mein
literally said mein
handy,"
Kampf.
or there's the very, there's the
Mein
very
Kampf.
aggressive dom. I nearly said mein Kampf.
Wo
God
ist
damn
mein
it, Kyle, this is not
Kampf,
the
ja?
time.
That's a bit different.
Or there's the very aggressive one of mein Handy.
Handy.
Yeah.
What is mein Kampf? Secret sauce. You got a
Sounds
half right. You got a half right. We are idiots.
Yeah,
Well,
we are
we are
idiots.
idiots and
I
we
like the
abuse
fact
each
that
other.
he also. I like the fact that he did actually technically insult you. He basically said, "You're an idiot, but you're brilliant," and then walked off.
Oh, you motherfucking son of a
I'm
bitch.
sure somebody called Einstein an idiot once. Probably a religious
Christ.
person, to be fair.
I mean, to be fair, if idiot is the harshest thing we've ever been called,
It's
I'll be
definitely not the
amazed because I
harshest
can
thing
imagine
I've
us
ever
being
been
called
called.
a lot worse.
Yeah, I can second that.
I know, but I mean, like on the show, outside of the show, we've been
Well,
called a lot worse. Yeah, I suppose.
It depends who says it.
I mean, if we get called an idiot compared to Boris,
Oh yeah, so it's in context. I agree with Kyle. What, is he trying to find a new job? Well, it's about fucking time.
Doing a very good job of doing what he's doing now.
So is it a porno?
please tell me someone can. Please tell me.
Number 10.
I know. I know for a fact they've invented this. To all agencies, whether you are MI6, KGB, fucking CIA, I know for a fact one of you fuckers has made a camera that has either poison, cyanide, or
I
fucking
was
gun
just gonna
inside
say, I
it.
was just gonna
I'll
ask
be
you
very
why he
careful,
hasn't
otherwise
fucking
you'll
applied
be
to
inciting
assassinate Boris
violence.
Johnson.
You don't want to do that.
Oh yeah, Yeah, Kyle, don't start a riot.
I am
God.
not inciting violence. I am simply saying that
He's merely suggesting it should happen.
anybody who decides that a flat needs a £70,000 fucking pound makeover is a fucking
Well,
retard.
if he paid for it himself,
Considering that is more than a flat
I
costs.
haven't. What, in London? Are you serious? Up here,
No,
you
Kyle
up
can
doesn't
get a-
acknowledge
you can get
London
flat
as
for
a
70
state.
grand.
Is it?
Fucking down in London, times it by 10.
You get a house for 70 grand.
In London, you can't get a parking space for 70 grand. It's that stupid.
What?
Fuck the government.
We don't
Straight in the
condemn
number 10.
violence. Do you not mean condemn? Jay, there's a bit of a difference between
No,
condemn
Phil.
and condemn.
Hey,
No,
Phil.
What?
do
Phil.
Phil, do
Don't-
not correct him. He
Where-
was correct. We
Yeah.
must not condemn violence against Boris
Yeah,
Johnson.
I'm with you. I'm with you on this. We're not
Okay,
condemning the violence.
from anybody to anybody.
You're on your own, Phil.
Oh, thank
We're
fuck!
all gonna go to Oscar.
I got an email just as I was saying that, and I was like, "Oh fuck, are they listening?" And then it just turns out to be an F1 announcement. It's like, "Oh, okay, I'm safe."
I'll do that on
Getting
YouTube.
killed
He handled it badly, but he was chucked in the deep end. Well,
But he's still a pleb, though.
To
I'm
be
sorry,
fair,
but you
all
can't
of the,
defend him
all
on
of the
that.
government is they do not
Listen.
speak. The problem
I
with the
love the
government.
fact he's a
the problem
buffoon
with
and
every
all this shit, but he can't have a country.
the problem with every government in the world is that the government was designed originally
Because they're
to
run by
be
politicians.
for the people, by the people, run by the people, for the people, not by posh twats that
you say
complain
that, but
when
maybe s-
they borrow £1 million and then say, "Oh no, I can't pay it back because I only get paid £1 million a month, and that's far too much to pay back. No." And then just class it as the country's debt because
Right, so
the
hold on.
country has to pay
So-
for Boris's toilet paper so he can wipe his arse on the country.
It's not his arse, it's his face because he was
I
talking
didn't
shit.
realise this was so political now.
It's
By the
hundreds
way,
of years.
I'm not just saying Boris. By the way, I'm saying every politician
Yeah, there's
that
no
is
argument
just
with
that
that.
ever existed.
silver spoon cunt, and that includes and is not limited to every other government in the fucking world at the minute.
Can we just
Although
say,
there are a couple that are okay, like the one where the farmers are actually in charge of fucking agriculture and the people that have worked in the water industry are in charge of the water industry. Is that Australia or somewhere? I'm sure there's somewhere
Yes.
where
then
people who have
Australia
actually
has
had the
bigger
fucking
problems
job
hiring
are in
It's-
charge.
it's Australia.
Doesn't really matter.
what kangaroos?
To who?
But who to?
China.
Well, we're just going to claim
China.
debts.
Actually, no. It's a good point. No, it's a good point because
By the
the
end of the month, they go to
world
court.
is in debt. However, it is in debt to its own people. It is the politicians. It is the big companies. It is all the really rich
The 1%.
rich twats that are worth
It's not
billions
really.
of pounds.
It's
and millions of
countries that
pounds.
are in debt to banks.
Yes,
It's countries that are in debt to banks because they borrowed money to bail each other out. But the fact is, there's more debt in
Exactly.
the world than money that has ever been printed or made or stamped or coined or anything. Because basically, what happens is America will say, "I want 3 trillion," and the bank will go, "All right, we'll give you 3 trillion." It owes 3 trillion, but they don't actually have 3 trillion. It's just that America just sticks that on the top of their budget and says, "No, look, we're in the black. We haven't lost any money." And then they're like, "Well, we owe that. Actually, you're going to have to pay that back." And they're like, "But we lent 3 billion to the UK," and then we're like, "But we lent 2 billion to France," and it's just
But
a piss take. Nobody owes anyone anything.
If
They should
everybody
just put a
owes
line
money
under it,
to
start again.
everybody else, then
Yep.
why don't they just go, "Well, you owe us this and we owe you that, so why don't we just say you don't owe us anymore and we don't owe you anymore?" That's
So
just
forget it.
blanket, clean slate. Well,
Yeah.
there's one very simple reason. Because then the governments of the world wouldn't have control over us and they wouldn't have a reason for why all the money's disappearing.
Well, no,
I'm going to be honest. It's not like they have a lot of control over a lot of it at the minute anyway.
It's like if I
Not really.
it's like if I gave
Shops with
Stefan
masks on
if
and
it
things, whether like I'm not saying that that's a
No,
bad
it's-
thing to
it-
do. I'm just saying they have
it's-
control because they're the ones that have told you to do it.
To be honest, I
We are the
prefer
ones
the
that told you
masks.
to do, but
I
it's
would...
on the back of medical advice because some people in there may get seriously ill,
Do you know
and
what I
it's
don't understand
they're
at the moment,
asking
though?
you to protect them.
My
Yeah,
problem at the
I like
moment
the
that
masks anyway.
Well, I know because you're a bit of a reclusive person anyway, but
I
the
feel like
point
you
I
can.
don't understand is why. Yes, I think he's done the right thing by postponing the lockdown rather than getting out of it and then bringing us back into it, because then it would just be a right kick in the bollocks. But
Yep,
if all of the
exactly.
most vulnerable people have now been vaccinated, then why is it a problem?
Because not all the
But
most
they haven't.
vulnerable people have been vaccinated
Well, that's
because
on
there's
them.
some idiots that refuse it.
It's not just that. So you're
And
both wrong there
there's
because
people
right.
that are
So
too ill to actually get it and have medical
exactly,
conditions
there are
that don't allow them to
there
get
are
it.
people who have immune diseases that whether they get vaccinated or not, and some of them have been and some of them haven't. That their immune system will not make
So what
antibodies
are
anyway,
we
so
waiting
therefore
for
they
them to
cannot be
die
immune
and
even
then
if
we
they've been
can come out
vaccinated.
of lockdown, or what? Because like,
No, not at all. But herd
it
immunity.
might work. No, but this is a serious question. I'm serious though, because at what point is it going to be like, oh well, everybody else that's left to be vaccinated, they're just normal, hunky-dory people.
Right, I'm moving more away from this because we take a
When
point
it
to
when
try
it's
and avoid talking about
when it's
modern stuff.
reasonably not going to
This is
fucking kill
actually
people
this has been
unnecessarily.
something
When
that
it's
one of the
reasonably
reasons that I
vaccinated
wanted to
against.
come back on is to discuss that with you actually, because like I've been thinking about this in my head for quite a few weeks. Like, at what point is it going to stop? When the fat bloke in number 10
Yeah,
sings.
right. Just to move on, because we don't want to talk about lockdown stuff because everybody's already had enough shit with it.
It links to
For
coronavirus
fuck's
straight
sake!
away by
Don't.
using the word TikTok.
Shoot it, kill it with fire, burn it.
Are we?
We are on TikTok not because I was informed that we were going on TikTok, because if I was informed that we were going on TikTok, I would have fucking burned the TikTok servers
Some nice
down before
car
we
stuff on
reached
TikTok,
it.
though. God, that shows the age. It's like 2004 or something.
I thought it was like 2001.
Well, somebody still owns the building, you know.
Yeah.
I think that somebody snuck in and put it there, or the owners put it there just in case he... Well, maybe there was a plan for it to reopen as something else with different signage or whatever, and it's been getting prepared. Who knows? Glitch in the Matrix? I don't believe in the Matrix.
Yeah. It could be anything. It could be just the pure fact of like the person who owns the building, because they own the building and it's technically a shop, they're legally obliged to put a sign in the shop saying like he has the guidelines
completely
type
separate.
thing.
Who decided the whole thing of birds aren't real? No, like
Stefan.
No, many
Birds are
many.
real.
It's been around.
Pigeons aren't.
This is the thing I'm talking about.
Pigeons are drones.
Birds aren't real. They're all drones. They're all CIA connected.
Right, Phil, I'm going to stop you there before you go any further. We've discussed this at length, and I've got hold of a patent for these pigeons and how they work, and how they charge themselves now and shit like that. And we've been through this on an episode before.
But,
If the pigeons can charge themselves, why the fuck can't
You've
cars
missed so
yet?
much. You've also missed at least 3 episodes where I nerd out and take the piss out of militaries.
You know as
You
well as
missed
I
a
do.
lot.
In fact, all of us should know. Do you remember in high school when a certain somebody, I'm not going to mention any names, kicked a pigeon on the main street? Did you see wires? Did you see...
Yes.
Or did you hear about wires? I don't know if you were there. I've got a feeling you were there, to be honest.
That pigeon wasn't a spy, he wasn't wearing a wire.
Is this
Let's not go into that. We're not going to name names, Jay. Fuck's sake. It's visible to anyone who joins into this that can talk to it on chat.
So yes.
Right.
Philip, your best bet is to send it in the Facebook group chat. Although I think I know who it is. If it's who I think it is. But I'm not too sure.
That is a nice R75.
Aggressive bastards. Oh no, it's not who I thought it was.
What was the fucking point in me
Jay,
putting
for
that if you
fuck's
couldn't
sake.
work it out? Do you seriously not remember who that is?
Jay. It's because it's not someone he knew in school, but all of us knew him. But the reason we didn't want to say his name is because nobody called him his first name. Everybody called him Caldo.
And there's another name for him for you. No.
Yes.
Shut up, you knobhead.
No, that's Caldo. This is a different one.
It's not just that, Jay. You can't just name people
Oh,
the crack.
jeez. By the way, sorry if I peaked the fucking mic there. Oh.
Kyle and Philip are here.
Exactly. We
That's
name
fair
and shame
game.
each other because we're fucking here
Can't drag
and we
people into
know
it that no one's seen in years.
we know it's the fucking joke and we know that we're not going to call the police on each other or any shit. Oh dear God.
But do you know what it is? I've got a couple of things on the Matrix, believe it or not. This wasn't planned, but I have got a couple of. So, do you know the green code, the famous green code in the Matrix?
The one that is in fact Chinese restaurant menus and ingredients. It's recipes for
Oh,
Chinese
you're
food.
close. You're close.
No,
It's Japanese sushi recipes.
Yes, it was recipes for
Yeah. So he's basically when the team came up with something. Simon Whiteley was a production designer at Animal Logic in Australia. He's the man behind the code in the Matrix. He worked on it after on the digital reign, after Lana and Lily Wachowski vetoed a previous sequence that a design team working on had created. They didn't feel the design was old-fashioned and traditional enough, and they wanted something more Japanese, more manga. They said. They asked me if I'd like to have a go at working the code, mainly because my wife is Japanese and she could help me work out the characters and give me an insight into which ones look good and which don't. He went home and he was looking through stacks of Japanese cookbooks owned by his wife, looking for inspiration, and she was telling him which basically characters look good and which didn't, and that's how it became. So it's literally fucking Japanese sushi recipes.
Why the fuck not? That's one thing I always sort of confused about is why the Matrix writing was Japanese when it was an American film. I wonder if when it was released in Japan, if they changed that writing to American writing.
Let's be fair, all the Japanese...
Notice I didn't say English because
American
American is a
ideas
different
we picked
language.
from Japan anyway.
Yes, it is.
It's a bad version.
I'm not giving them an ego boost, I'm giving them an ego downgrade because even though we gave them the English language,
why
they
they did
still
it, though?
fucked it up and made it worse. Therefore, it is their own language, it is their own baby that is missing a leg and has
do
a
you know
fucking
why
eye
they
backwards
did
and
it,
an
though?
ear the size of a fucking elephant and fucking trunk and shit.
No.
Because it is old English, our language evolved, theirs didn't. Because
No.
American language, the American accent in bits is actually a little closely related to
It's because American
older
is
English.
simplified English. The whole point was, with the amount of immigrants going to America that didn't speak English as
Yeah.
a first language, it was to make it easier for them to learn.
Even though it was English people
The
going over to America
pronunciation,
being
on the other
immigrants
hand,
and
that's on
ruining
them, like
the
a
local
local
And
culture.
English
But
is
that's
still
why.
and English by
No,
default
it's
is one
I
of the
know.
hardest languages to learn.
I'm not. A pavement has been a pavement ever since pavements were invented. Everyone knows what they are. Everyone knows they're for people. Everyone knows cyclists, if they don't want to wear condoms and pedal about in traffic, they'll get run over, can cycle on them safely. Everyone knows that all people on mobility scooters should be on them, not in the middle of the A1 complaining that all the cars are maniacs, right? Everyone knows what a pavement is, but Americans are so confused that they have to be told that it's at the side and you walk on it.
It's pretty simple, to be fair.
But nobody needs that level. If you cannot grasp the concept of something without being explained what it is for in the name of it, then you are an idiot.
Well, no, you got to think.
It's the same as several things can have the same name. That's fine, America. You don't have to rename
Does anybody
everything.
remember the old Nokia game Snake? I am
Yes.
sure the person who
Where's
I'm
this
sure the
going?
person who developed American roads was playing Snake at the time, because no American road fucking has a roundabout or curves. It is right angles fucking everywhere. There's no roundabouts. You come up to traffic lights and then you fucking just fucking roundabouts are more effective. Use them. Use curves. Honestly. It's the wrong type of curves. I said curves, not blobs.
Let's not talk about roundabouts, because that's another one. Americans don't understand what a roundabout is. That you say roundabout to American, they fucking lose their shit with confusion, because even they have started to put roundabouts in America because they've realised, and it's been proven
Way
loads
more
of times, like you said on Mythbusters especially, that it is more efficient than having lights. However, Americans call them traffic circles because the traffic goes in a circle, because this is how fucking dumb they are. It's a roundabout. You go
Americans
round
also
about it.
get annoyed.
It's been like that for millions of years. Well, not millions,
Americans also get
dinosaurs have them.
Americans also get annoyed when we call squirty cream because they just call it whipped cream.
Well, that's
Yes,
because
Americans, we call whipped cream squirty
Yeah.
cream. Deal with it,
You
bitch.
use a whisk to whip it. It's called whipping cream, and you whip it. That's not whipped
And then
cream.
you
Yes,
whip it up.
exactly.
Yeah,
Crap.
exactly. So it's not whipped cream.
Exactly.
So they're wrong. And string cheese ain't a cheese, that's an aerosol cheese. So if anything, that's squirty cheese. So fuck you,
Exactly.
America.
Like cheese and tastes a little bit like cheese.
It's squirty yellow
It's
plastic.
squirty off cream.
genetically modified crap.
It's squirty off cream.
Fuck's sake.
Well,
We immediately went
you
into
don't make
insulting
it
America.
hard.
I'm gonna move her to Austria.
No, you're not.
Hey, 1,000 listeners in Virginia.
You nearly said vagina, and I
Yeah.
love it.
Just to remind you that your state is named after one of our queens. Just reminding you of that little fact next time you go 1776 it were. You could have changed the name. Yeah,
A lot-
but they
I
could have
mean, a
changed
lot
the
of
name,
their
but they didn't. They kept
a
it.
lot of
That
their
means
states are
something
named
was
after a lot of other shit.
1776 was a lie.
Sadistics? I mean, we are sadistic.
Do you know what really annoys me about Virginia, though?
Every week it's
The
statistics
way
with
they
this kid.
say Norfolk.
Statistics.
Norfolk? It's Norfolk! Oh,
Have you ever heard an American
Leicestershire?
try to pronounce Leicester
Worcester
without being
sauce
told?
is the best one. Worcestershire?
Leicestershire.
Yeah.
Don't watch American Cooks,
Yeah.
I swear, because every time there's
Worcestershire.
Worcester sauce,
Yeah.
it's
See what the fuck.
Worcestershire.
No, just don't watch American chefs in general,
There is
because
one
every
that I
time they
recommend,
speak,
though,
they
Sam's
just
Cooking Guy on
ruin
YouTube. His stuff's good.
anything. It's like it's but
I don't know what doing recommendations. But before we move on, I do have all the Matrix. And it links to
I've
America.
got stuff
There
about
are-
Austria, so I'll link it in.
Hold on, then. Before you do that, though, at least 2 billionaires in Silicon Valley, right, are funding scientists in an effort to break us out of the Matrix. At least 2 Silicon Valley billionaires, and one of them is rumored to be. We want to stay on good terms here because, he
So
doesn't
yet
respond to
another
my emails,
person
but he
that's
fucking will one
wasting
day.
money
But
on
apparently
something
one of them might be
stupid
Elon
that-
Musk.
I mean,
and we're still asking, and we're still asking why the country's in
he's.
debt. Or why
You'll not be
every
saying that
country's
when
in
we're
debt.
out the Matrix.
When they're wasting money on trying to break the Matrix.
I mean, I'll be
Can we
honest
just
though.
point out, though?
No, I'll be honest though.
Dude, can we
Elon
just point
Musk.
out this scientist has the best job in the
Elon
world?
Musk is spending money and part of every project in the world. It seems like, though. It seems like he just you tell him a project and
But
he just
Elon
goes, "Yep,
Musk's
fuck it, throw a
forethought's
million
terrible,
at it."
though.
Yeah, but this scientist
I don't know. You're the one in charge of the fucking
might be
emails.
nice.
You're the
Imagine
you're
if
the
Elon
one
Musk
that
had replied as a Jay
You're also
Jordan.
the one that emailed the fucking Queen. Did the Queen reply? Because we're wanting to send it into space.
we're
We
going
want
to
to be the
space.
first
You three
podcast
can, I'm not.
recorded in
Phil.
space.
Phil, we've contacted Elon Musk. We have directly contacted the Queen. Well, it'll be going to our people. The Queen, Elon Musk, NASA, the CEO of Cadbury's, the parent company of Cadbury's, HR department, and their CEO.
Have we
You've
talked
missed
to
a
Bill
lot.
Gates yet? We might be able to do a deal where on the podcast we say we think he's innocent of cheating
Well,
if
he
gives
supports
us
charitable
£1 million.
organisations, so...
Hold on, why? My brain's just called me
There
Bill
is a
Gates is
somebody
dead,
Gates who's
and
dead, though,
that's
isn't
the
there?
wrong person.
No, that's
Oh, wait.
Gareth Gates.
Steve Jobs is probably what you're thinking of, yeah.
No, was I not thinking of Jobs?
yeah. You're thinking of Steve Jobs. I mean, we could. I've got the Necronomicon over there. We can try and summon him and see
The
if he'll give her a few
Necronomicon's
million.
him that did Cthulhu, isn't it?
Do you want to know about stuff that break the mirrors? Then?
That's the one, H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, it's H.P. Lovecraft. Yes.
Do you want to know about some glitches in the Matrix then?
Yes, bring it. Give us some glitches in the Matrix. Some fucking air quotes glitches in the Matrix.
I feel like this may be more of a Phil one, but it's still a long stretch because it's before our time. Does anyone remember the Berenstein Bears?
It was an
fucking
American
what?
kids cartoon TV.
I'll show you. Hold on.
And that's a clip from The Simpsons.
I have never seen that, but why do they have the same hairstyle as Lisa from The Simpsons when she gets her hair done and it looks like a sun?
I don't know, but the Berenstein Bears, so it's Beren Stein, was the Berenstein Bears for ages, and then in 2002 it randomly became the Berenstain Bears, right? But when I say randomly became, literally everybody that grew up watching this thing was losing their shit because they remember it being Berenstein with an E. And every single person, absolutely nobody remembers it being Berenstain with an A.
Being different, so then... But there's no record whatsoever of it being called something else.
Apparently, but that could be a glitch in the Matrix?
Yeah.
Apart from every single person that's ever seen it. So this is another one. This one's a bit closer to home. So, Outcast, Miss Jackson.
2002.
Yeah. Right. When was that released?
I don't know, but I do.
Right. So you think thousands? Does anybody think
I don't know, but I know
what
that
decade? Sorry.
I know that Outcast, when they were doing the "Hey Ya," all of the lyrics were just ad-libbed by the guys singing them, and eventually they just got a massive mismatch and just went, "Fuck it, we'll go with that." I'm gonna say 1992.
Right, so 90s. So I'm on board with Kyle. I think it was the 90s. And there's a lot of people who specifically remember being in college or being in high school and this being in the charts and this being played. And, like, they have memories of, like, they'd be doing stuff with their mates and this song would be on. Or they'd do, like, when people would say sorry and then they would take the mistake of the "I am for real," like Phil just did, right? Of this being the 90s. But apparently it was officially released and it wasn't before 2000. It was released in 2000. There are people that went to college between 92 and 96 who specifically remember listening to it in college.
I ever heard Miss Jackson,
and I definitely feel like it's older than 2000.
It's like Disturbed Sound of Silence. Me and a few other people swear that we heard it 4 years before it came out.
Yeah.
In all seriousness,
no, you were listening to
we listened
fucking
to Disturbed Sound of Silence.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Back to Simon and Garfunkel.
No, it was Disturbed's version.
Simon and Garfunkel.
We swear it was Disturbed's version.
But I remember another version other than Disturbed doing a much more Disturbed-like version. A much more rough, calm, not a hippie vibe, like a proper beastie vibe like Disturbed does, because that's just badass. I mean, what a voice. But anyway.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
It says Looney
Here's
Tunes,
another one.
not Looney Tunes.
Does anything look wrong with this? I know it's backwards.
I always thought it said Looney Tunes.
Are you mad?
Free Flake.
You got.
We're telling you to fuck off.
Right. When did you get the response from Cadbury's? By the way, did you get? Is it a new thing, or has it been there for like a year and you've just never noticed?
So March.
So 3 months.
A Pornhub account email.
The other Phil.
Oh, Jay set one up as a joke.
Am I trying to work out how that went in there? Well, no, it's quite obvious that somebody's put that handle on, or
It's a glitch in the Matrix, mate. You can't explain that. And,
your mic's
I
gone
feel
funny.
like you spend a lot of your life trying to work out how what went wrong.
Stefan, your voice
away.
is away.
It's a glitch in the Matrix.
No, it's because you're covering the mic with your phone.
The mic's on my face, mate. Alright then, Phil.
It's a goat jumping.
I like how we're a podcast and you're showing pictures.
It's a goat that hung itself because it was depressed.
And it's on a power line.
It climbed up the... You know how good goats are at climbing.
So it's all by the horn. It's not really effective.
What? Oh, that... Yeah, but that's a scientific... That actually is a thing why Yeah, that is actually a thing, though. Send that to a scientist and to a chemist, and they'll explain it to you. I've seen a video of how when the flame isn't on the wick, and it's something to do with the gases coming from the wick that's been alight, and it's...
It is basically the whole thing of the gases are causing it to expand upwards and not connect to the actual wick. It's the same as how you can run a flamethrower and it looks like the flame isn't coming out of the barrel. It looks like it's starting a little bit after the barrel because it is the fucking gases and everything. It's moving so fast that it's not connecting.
What the flashpoint is.
Alright.
Yes.
I wasn't going to go there, but I'm pulling out the big guns, right? Explain to me, if there's no glitches in the Matrix, how an entire ski lift was stolen in the Czech Republic overnight.
Because it's the Czech Republic and they do random bullshit like that all the time. Come on, you cannot pull that.
But the people who saw it were either killed or told
an
to shut
entire
up or
ski lift?
This is the Czech Republic we're talking about here.
Dude, no, right. You know we're talking about like a ski lift as in like takes scares out a mountain like a chairlift, yeah? You know I'm not just on about one or two chairs. I am on about the whole thing, including the steel support structure, 3 posts and the pulleys, and at 1 kilometer
You
of
underestimate the power of a drunk squad.
It's doable. You have enough people and it'll disappear.
Also, have you ever seen anything to do with the military when they get pissed? They do stupid shit like this. I bet you it was like the Czechoslovakian fucking military was on training in the mountains, or the Russian army was in trainings in the mountain, or some stupid shit like that, and they just decided, fuck it, we're taking it.
Phil, Jay. Oh, wait. Right, Phil. You need to listen to a bit of last week's episode because I am taking over with a random segment where I'm going to come up with I'm going to tell you a conspiracy theory. And last week I explained to Kyle how Finland doesn't exist.
Yes, that's his theory.
It hasn't existed.
I'm not going to get into it with you now because it's last week's episode, but you need to go check it out. No, it doesn't exist. It's just a Baltic Sea. When was the 5 ago? Oh.
Keep coming on and off like a period.
He's like Sunderland in the football leagues. He yo-yos up and
Phil,
down.
stop coming on and off like a bipolar trait.
Do you know roughly when this super secret film will be out?
So you're stuck with me and Stefan running the show.
Right, I'll look out for it. Looks like something I'd be interested in.
What?
I did not see that coming.
The Nazis.
I thought Jordan had a job.
Finally.
And frankly, I find that offensive.
However, we are proud of him. Our boy has finally found a job.
I have reasons, though.
Get off your arse and you dickhead.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah, his arse has been super glued to that PC seat.
I do not play a Farmville.
Yeah.
I play a Farm Sim.
Yeah. Yeah, Phil. Farmville's not a responsibility.
Farming Simulator is a high
responsibility
fucking
so I can't
responsibility
puzzle.
when you play it. Fucking hell.
It is a responsibility, to be fair, yeah.
Nah. Probably.
You don't even care for yourself,
Dangerous.
probably. Which was chaotic.
That's more because we had.
Oh, well, sorry.
That we had
Fucking
stuff to
episode
do.
police.
Also, we decided since it's just us two, we didn't want to have
That's what they
people
come here
just
for.
listening to us two arguing and ranting to each other for too long.
Yeah, because Kyle was really upset when I was telling him how Finland didn't exist.
I'm about to say, don't say the website because
Why is
our
our
website
website
is currently
currently
offline.
I thought he was going to say go to your favourite podcast and then no one would listen to it.
Go to your favourite podcast. Don't go to your
'Cause
favourite
Jay's in charge of
podcast.
it.
Oh wait, you're already here. You're already
Probably
listening
somebody's
to
third
it.
favourite or
Hi.
something. We're not going to be the favourite.
Smooth.
I don't listen to podcasts, so
You never
My
know.
favourite.
This is
I have no
my favourite
interest in
podcast, but that's
podcasts.
because I'm part of it and I don't listen to any others.
Do you know what? I've just said that, and that's a lie. This is like my second favourite.
well, that's just because you're more interested in your own podcast. That's why.
Well, because you have to be involved in it.
It does.
He doesn't even do his own podcast.
Season 2 is on hold. Why?
Why?
Season
Did you
2
not
is on
answer the
hold
phone?
because we all somehow managed to get a life. How did this happen, guys?
Speak for yourself. Yeah,
you
speak
have
for
been
yourself.
busy making things, haven't you? Yeah. Opening oven doors.
Baking cakes.
The cake is a lie!
Too mean. What was it, Portal
That's
one?
an old
It's Portal,
meme.
isn't it?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yes. No, the cake is actually a lie, though. To be fair, spoiler alert. If you haven't played Portal 2, I don't know what
Neither
you've been
have I.
doing, but, you know, the cake
I've
is a
never
lie.
played the Portal games.
So why don't meme us then?
Whoa, was this found on a different website?
Neither of us. What episode's that?
Ha 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 ha.
Who's not a horse?
I'm on a horse.
Oh, you shouldn't have told
Oh
me I'm gonna get it.
no. This is where the German national
Just
anthem
make
starts
sure
playing.
you get the right one.
Can I do that?
Oh
Just
no,
have
I've just
Erica.
remembered what some of Jay's fucking things he has in the
Erica.
soundboard
Bum,
are.
bum.
You can just have Hitler's fucking speech. Jesus. He's looking for it now. He is legitimately looking for it. Right, while he's looking for it, because we're talking about
Yeah,
Germany,
looking
I'm
for
going
it,
to take
sweet.
you to Austria, gents. I'm going to take you to the
Can I say what
best
we're
museum in the world.
I think I do
Would you
think
like
I
to
know
know
it, yeah.
why? No,
So-
it's nicknamed. It's nicknamed.
Oh,
It's
I
nicknamed
genuinely
the
didn't mean to do
Nazi.
that.
It's
Oh,
actually
dear.
called
Just take
Herrenbaumgarten.
the tab,
It's
die.
it's the world's largest collection of intentionally useless inventions. Yes, it's well curated and courageously
Not
silly.
useless invention.
Austria's Nuntium is devoted to treating the nonsensical with the same adoration that is afforded to the classical.
Can I
Yes.
just say one thing? When you said the name of the museum, I didn't think that's what it was.
Fuck's sake.
And I don't know how you didn't notice that when you were just
Because
reading it
I've
out
read it a
casually.
few times, so I've already thought of it.
Do not say nonsense to someone
I know.
and expect them to take
Well,
it seriously.
to be fair, that's the
In
whole
fact, just
point.
don't.
Opened in 1994 by a group calling themselves, I do apologise for this, Verein
Is that what they call themselves?
Verwaltung von Gedankenbeschussen, or the Association for the Recycling of Surplus Thoughts. Yes.
Kyle, how long
Fuck
have you
you.
been fluent in Austrian?
The small museum delights in collecting inventions and pieces of art ranging from the self-defeating to puns made manifest. Among the useless items on display are a cigarette with a filter on each end, rounded scissors for faster haircuts, eyeglasses which are simply small cocktail glasses with eyeballs in them, a kettle with a handle arching over the spout, and a hat which opens at the top to let wearers cool their heads off. Despite the strict devotion to the unusual, the museum itself is presented as a clean and modern exhibition, with each item displayed with a neat placard stating its intended and intentionally goofy use.
Can we just take a moment? You said hats that don't have
It's
the
basically
top
like a
opens or
top
something.
hat, but with the top cut open, so you've got ventilation. It's like it's like
Right.
a hat that
So
doesn't
what they're saying
protect you
is-
from the rain.
Right. So they're saying that's useless and it should be in a museum
Yes.
because it's so ridiculous, yes? Tell me about the hats that pretty much all golfers and tennis players
Yeah,
wear.
but they're designed for sunny weather.
That doesn't matter.
I think it means like I think it
Golfers
means
are
like
designed for sunny
a
weather.
hat that is designed for rainy weather, but which does not protect you from the rain. The same way that the eyeglasses are not actual spectacles, as everybody else fucking calls them, other than Americans, but it's just cocktail glasses with eyeballs in them, which serve no purpose other than being
wear when we were
there.
in high school that had no lenses in, just because they thought it looked cool. Because they thought it made them look intelligent.
What? Why did people
Man's got a
fucking
point.
wear those? It was like the hipster thing to wear glasses that were just stupid. It was like people used to steal them from the drama department.
See,
Funnily enough,
Jay
I've got
wanted
the
to be,
same
because
cleaning
Jay is a
glasses, but
hipster,
with
he wanted to be like that, but he just went actually blind. He didn't get what they were doing. Just
one with one leg.
Hey.
I stood on them like not last October, but the October before, and I still haven't gotten them.
ones
sorted.
to help him see.
I use them for the computer now.
What?
Bog standard crappy black
Pirate
thing.
glasses.
Anyway,
It's got two lenses. It's only got one leg though.
I would like to
What
say,
if you get two screens?
It's a mod
I
pod.
would like to say for anybody wanting to go there,
I suppose at least you know how Van Gogh would
Fuck's
feel if he went blind.
for anybody wanting to go to this museum, by the way, it is surrounded by two bars.
Sorry,
It
Kyle.
also has the Verbis wine
That's
cellars,
alcohol.
17 miles away. The Znojmo catacombs, 30 miles away, and the
surrounded.
Sienda Himmels, or Lakes of the Sky, 33 miles away.
Oi, I'm going to take issue with you here. If something's 17 miles away and 33 miles
No,
away,
it
that's
is surrounded by two bars. It's just there are also attractions that are nearby. It's got two bars right next to it. I'm just saying, though, it also has on the list nearby attractions,
okay.
and the attractions are the wine cellars and the catacombs.
I'd be more attracted to the bars, to be honest.
I know you would, because you're a child.
And yeah, you'd be more attracted to the catacombs because you fucking live. What do you mean because I'm a child? I don't know what bars you'd be into, but if the children are
I
there,
just
then a
don't
lot of people
understand
aren't doing their
alcohol.
job
I don't
properly.
understand the appeal.
It's cheaper than other things that
Kyle.
drivers
And
are.
I'm turning Facebook off my laptop because I'm sick of just hearing bling bling.
Kyle, that means you've never experienced the joy of going to a really hot country like Spain and getting off the plane and just having a lot of alcohol in a short amount of time and just
I
wiping
don't
your own
need to
memory.
because the heat does that
It's
for
one
me.
of the joys of life. What
Yes.
just being outside in the sun does that for you.
You have a brain.
My brain melts as soon as I come in contact with sun.
Like
I do
everybody
have a
else does.
brain, amazingly.
Oh,
Just, leave him alone, Phil. I don't remember.
What we decided was that
that's racist.
white rooms sound comfy.
Well, if the thing is, though, Jace just said that as though he's the only one that's spent an afternoon with you and knows what you're fucking like.
True.
You do. The reason this podcast exists is because me and Kyle were arguing about something hypothetical, totally random, not practical in any way. It didn't even make sense or exist, and you were breaking and said we'll have to record it. It was a hypothetical argument that carried on for about 3 hours, in amongst other activities. You know
we
what
still
me and
have
Kyle
them
are like.
today, like your fucking Finland piece of shit.
Yeah, because he
It does
thinks Finland
exist.
exists and it's bullshit.
I am going
but,
to
you know,
fucking
he wins
take you to
sushi.
Finland.
It
I am going
doesn't.
to hunt down the fucking old school history books
It
from the
doesn't.
18th fucking century and beyond.
It's not. It's just Sweden or Ethiopia.
It's fucking not.
Is.
Oh dear fucking god. Jay's
Is
trying
Jay
to
trying to
log
log
into
into
something.
Finland?
Add the first T in.
Jay's trying to see if anyone from Finland is. That doesn't work because it's, as you'll know if you've listened to my thing, it's either Sweden or Ethiopia or some of Russia.
Are you legitimately trying to find where our audience lives? Somehow.
Yeah, well, it's not like we offend them.
Does it not have a not have a number next to it saying like country 1, country 2?
Mm-hmm. She's eating Serenades.
Is this places we've mentioned?
Where have we got Norway from? We haven't actually done anything to Norway yet. We need to find something about Norway.
You see, you do forget that my brother
Yeah,
lives in
that's bad
Norway.
enough.
Norway's pretty. It has fjords.
So if he has persuaded people to listen to her, then no, this is what kidnap victims. What do you think we're talking about?
Yay! Stefan's homeland.
That's because Kyle. Yeah, that's because Kyle's fluent.
Why?
Paul. Up in the Himalayas.
I mean, now shocked at France.
Yeah! We're gonna
Nepal?
come and do
How
a
the
tour
fuck have we
in
got listeners
Nepal.
in Nepal? Has Nepal even got internet? I thought they live
Sorry,
on
the
mountains and
mic's
rear
better than
yaks.
Can you say that correctly? Pakistan.
Phil, you were
Otherwise I'm gonna
way
get
quiet.
offended.
It's okay.
I mean, that is genuinely where that term comes from, because they
Yeah,
were known
yes,
as
please.
that at one time. But
Jay, do not elongate the I in that. Please. Yes, but that's not the point.
Top of the morning to you.
Yay! Hello, Paddy.
No, they don't farm potatoes. They had a
Oh, the
family
Irish
member
aren't
that farmed
alcoholics,
potatoes.
they just
Top of the
farm
morning to you.
potatoes
How
and
you
shit,
doing,
no?
my way laddies?
Yeah, because they're pissed off about that we didn't help them with the potatoes.
Oh, so is that why
Yes.
they lose all their luggage
Some of
now when
those
we try and go on
ones,
holiday instead?
Belgians? You mean the plastic French?
Well, they weren't exactly making a lot of crisps, were they?
Belgium.
Well, I should bloody well hope so. I'm kind of disappointed it's not number one, like.
Listen.
Chocolate.
Hey, it's just like the Euros.
I know. Hold on. What one country's already just
I mean,
made the
it's
top
just
3?
typical with it's every event ever.
Go on.
No, it's not. We've got points.
Stockton, your local area.
Go on.
That's another one in south
Stockton
of the
on
Tyne.
these.
Stockton.
What a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, understandable.
What?
Jarrah? All south of the Tyne, Power Ashington.
Javo.
Is it? I thought it was south of the Tyne.
Fair enough.
I thought it was like Gateshead side.
Can we,
Is that time?
I am not fucking arguing with you two about where Jarrow is, because one of you took us into Jarrow
Brilliant sense
when I
of
wasn't trying to
direction
go there.
and arguing
Right?
with me the whole time.
We're
That
not
time.
going there. Yeah, that time. When we drove
Yeah,
around
we did
Jarrow
head
for
north.
10 minutes. everyone arguing with everyone. It was a fucking catastrophe. We're not
The time
revisiting
that
this.
one of you got my sense of direction, basically.
I'm in charge. I'll beat us all.
Bald eagle screech entered here.
Because they're all masochists and like being bullied.
Or thick.
Really? That's just because they're trying to steal the bank account details.
Yes. Hey!
I really didn't expect that though.
No,
India.
it's because while they're bored in the call centres, they listen to us. To be fair, India is one of the largest countries in the world.
They've got very good
So
understanding
if
of
you can
English
get
as
a
well,
listenership
for some
going there, you're going to
reasons
have
over
quite a
the
few
300 years
followers
of
quite easily, I think.
being a possession.
To do. Colonisation.
Yeah, and to be fair, you know, the more people listen to me, listen to us in India than any other
I like
country,
the
and
fact
I listen
I
to
listen to
Indians more than any
Indians
other
more than any
country.
other country
Language, I'm
at
not sure
work
which it
when
is. It
I'm
could
looking
be
for help.
Punjabi, but they just, rather than making their own words,
Oh, I just remember
they
the phone
use
all the
English
time.
words. So you hear them having a conversation with each other, and it'll be da 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 da, and then an English word randomly, and then da 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 English word, and the amount of Punjabi words we use, like pajama and bungalow, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
but a lot of countries do that though. It's like Japan just randomly
Bungle
throws
perks
in
of speaking
English words.
the
I'm
international
pretty
language
sure German has a couple of English words just thrown in as well. I think
is everywhere.
just every country we have visited, which by the way, 1 second, give me 1 fucking
Yeah,
second because it was
visited.
one of the topics. Britain has
Brilliant.
invaded 173 of the 195
However, just
countries
remember
in the
that not
fucking
all of
world,
those
so some of them are bound
not
to
all
have
of those
random
invasions
English
were for negative
words.
Damn it,
reasons.
we're fucking slackers.
For example,
We have
the west
invaded
coast of
all
Africa
but
was invaded by us
22.
an awful lot to prevent something from happening that people are very irate about at the moment. Well, we kind of should have had it anyway because
To be fair,
sorry, William the Bastard.
And France, I feel like they will
To
have
be
good
fair,
reason to invade France. To be
Oh
fair.
well, yeah.
the lucky
I mean, I
the
wasn't on
lucky
about then. I was on
22
about
that we
more than
haven't
40s.
invaded include Sweden, Luxembourg,
because there's
Mongolia,
nothing there.
Bolivia, and Belarus. So
Sweden did have.
I think it's just
quite
because
a
we
good
didn't get bound to them.
military force at one time.
That's because
No,
we
I
can't
think it's
invade
just 'cause we
Sweden
didn't
because
get
of the
bound to
fucking
them.
navy.
Pardon you.
I'm assuming a lot of these places are just the people that we kind of managed to make trade deals and get friendly with. I think
Was
once you've
horrible.
invaded
one of the
all
ones-
but 22
one of the
countries
ones that
in
we
the
didn't
world, you
invade was
kind of have a bit
Portugal,
of
because
leeway with the
Portugal were
others.
our allies forever.
You kind of have a bit of
happy.
negotiation strength.
You see, I kind of think
But did they though?
I disagree with Kyle. I think once you've invaded all but 22 of the countries, it explains why a lot of the world hates us. But yeah.
Does he?
The dude who did the fucking comparison was called Mr. Laycock. Yeah.
See.
Yes. Sorry, go.
Heard that before.
Please, yes.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Right. Can I just start? Can I stop you there? Right, Jay.
No.
Did you listen to last week's episode? Right, exactly. So, I've already explained that if you are in Finland, GPS says you're in Finland, it is either a remote area in Russia, what was the others? Ethiopia, or Sweden, and it is GPS is kind of warped or programmed in a way, and IP addresses are changed so that it says you are in where Finland was, because it is a fucking global conspiracy. It's not just they're not just going to be able to go, Finland doesn't exist, and then you go, yeah, look, the word's there. Oh
Do you
shit.
remember the Winter War? Well, you won't remember.
They're not. Yeah, but they're not really finished. They're either Russian. They might be Ethiopian. They might have. They might, you know. Fabricated. Also, I wasn't there.
0.02 of our audience.
Right.
There's 4
I'm gonna-
people in Finland that listen to it on a
Hello,
consistent basis.
Hello, the people in Finland.
I love
That
it.
does exist.
Hello the 4 people in Finland. How are you? Hold on a second. Isn't
What about
Hold on.
Valtteri Bottas finish? Are you saying
What about Kimi
Bottas
Mäkinen?
doesn't have a country?
All right.
I'm saying he's either
Mäkinen, he was Finnish as
Ethiopian,
well.
Russian, or Swedish. For example, Kimi Räikkönen was actually born in Sweden because the village he was is in Sweden.
To all the Finnish, Tervedis. Is it Tervedis?
Oh, what village he was
Tervedis?
born in.
Finland's further north of that anyway, and it's
Right,
on the
can we
eastern
just point
side
out
of
that
the Baltic.
for a start, that's a Baltic
Tervedis.
Sea. It's not Finland.
There you go.
Right. Right. Listen, there are approximately 5.4 million Finnish people here. So out of 7.4 billion humans.
Whatever it is,
Stefan, you're
if
away
got
from
a
your
loose
mic
wire
again.
or something in your mic, or...
Yeah, but for some reason, every time
My
you
mic is
move,
fucking
you
here.
lose it.
It may be the wire. The wire's a bit shit. So there
Yes.
are 5.4 million Finnish people. That's out of 7.4 billion humans on the planet, which means that Finns make up 0.0729%
I bet
of the
if you
planet,
look
which
at
is
not
not even a
countries, you'll
tenth.
get the same
This
results
means
from other countries as well, such as Tahiti and shit. Or
okay.
Tahiti
This
or whatever.
means that more than 99.9% of the world isn't Finnish, right? And we know this because of the government census. The best government censuses have a margin of error of about 1%. So if Finns only make up
Just to clarify, so we don't
0.0729% of the
actually believe
planet,
this, eh?
plus or minus the 1%, that means there's a 50% chance that Finland doesn't exist
You'll
anyway,
jump on any
because it could just be in the
conspiracy
margin
theory,
error.
you will.
Finland doesn't exist, man.
But what if we don't exist?
No, just send us a fucking picture on
Just do
social
something
media
like,
of
"Welcome
you
to
and your
Finland."
surroundings
Find
with a
the
middle
Welcome to
finger
Finland
up
sign
with
and
a
just-
sign saying Stefan or some shit like that.
Oh, you've got an answer for everything, haven't you? You're just like a
Actually,
cultist.
Yeah, but that's
So-
just going to be in a
someone-
zone in Sweden
someone-
dedicated to pretend it's Finland.
Someone
If you get to the end
sends
of it,
someone
you get to
sends
the end of it,
Stefan.
you're just going to
Of
say,
course I have.
"'Cause
Yeah,
God said
this
so."
isn't just a half-ass theory.
He's
This
like
is
a
a
flat
proof.
earther. Someone
Hey, fuck off.
Why do you think I'm getting the long hair?
someone sends Stefan.
No, I'm
Someone
not
sends
retarded.
Stefan the
I'm going to stick
Shadows
to my
from the
guns.
Walls of
Slapland.
Death book, please. No, because he'll just
Right,
say
so-
that it's part of a.
When you go to Finland, what happens is the plane takes off. No, listen. What happens is when you go to Finland, the plane takes off and it lands in either
Fuck's sake.
one of these remote places. Probably, Sweden's the most common one. It lands there, and then when you go on GPS, it's actually changed to edited to say that you are in over the Baltic Sea, which is where
Can I
Finland
just
should be
say
if it
that the
existed, but it
white-
I
doesn't.
had this last week. Do not push him.
But that's like you could say that about any country though. It's like that whole thing about the aeroplanes.
Russia has
Everything's
Russia beat
actually really
Sweden,
close
or
together,
Russia
but
possibly.
the aeroplanes just fly around in circles till they land.
Yeah, but Finland doesn't exist. There's a reason that Finland doesn't.
Can I just point out that this is
No,
the same
so
guy
the reason
who was
that Finland doesn't
ridiculing the
exist is
flat
because
earthers.
Japan and Russia, right?
Don't.
had,
We've already had
right,
a
I'm going to
full
go into it now.
episode.
Finland
Japan and
exists.
Russia had a really good
But
fishing.
it does. They've got an incredible history. They've got a
But
brilliant
the Earth
military
isn't
history,
flat. Mountains are the clue.
skiers.
It's not even level. Yeah, but it
What
doesn't.
about Simo Herhaya, or what? How have you
But it
pronounced
doesn't. Why do you think on all the lowest crime rate, who is always in the top 5 of like lowest crime rates, best place to live, highest earners?
Well, maybe it's because there's only
Every good
5
global
people who
census,
live there.
Finland is the
4
top.
of them
Every
are
bad one, they're at the
Tunisians
bottom
and
because
us,
they're
and
a
we all
model
live
country
about
because
6
they don't
million
exist
miles
because they're
apart from
made
each
up
other.
so that everyone can aspire to be a good country like Finland because it
How
doesn't
do you
exist.
steal from
Nobody's that good.
somebody who's like 60 miles down the road and get away with it?
There are 5.4 billion, and there might be a
What are you
margin
talking
of
about
error in the
crime rates being
census.
down? Hard to murder people when you're frozen to death.
You don't steal. What do you mean? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I know
Who did that?
Sweden's cold, but you don't freeze to death. Russia's cold as well. You do freeze to death if you go there in the winter and you wear summer clothes and you're trying to invade, but we'll gloss over that.
I'm gonna move this on before we get stuck in an infinite time loop here.
You know
Because
when
I'm
hold
gonna
on.
send Stefan the fucking Shadows
You know
from the
when,
Walls of Death book.
Before you do, hold on. Before you do, you know when
Yes.
Hitler decided to invade Russia?
Oh,
That
for
might have
fuck's
been
sake.
the peak of Finnish crime rate in
Knew
history.
it was coming. I'm gonna send you this book. Do you want to know why I'm gonna send you this book? Because it's a fucking 86-page book considered one of the deadliest tomes in the world, because each page contains a sample of wallpaper saturated in a lethal amount of arsenic. Any skin contact can prove fatal, so you have to wear gloves and stuff when handling it. I'm gonna send it to you, just so you go, oh, what's this? It's gonna pop up like a fucking pop-up book saying Finland, bitch, and then you're gonna get infected with arsenic.
The island in the middle of the Atlantic.
What?
No, he didn't. No.
Is it not like asbestos or some shit?
Napoleon didn't Napoleon die in the battle?
7 years, I think it is. No, 206 years.
Is it?
1815.
Is it? I forgot already.
He was useless.
It's not like it's an important battle, it's just the day a midget lost.
Do you know what? It's not Napoleon I was thinking of, it was Nelson. And do you know what I learned about Nelson?
He got killed by a French sniper.
No, you know how he died because he was literally, there was a war going on, everyone was off deck unless they needed to be on deck,
Yes.
and he was just strolling about like, the place, and eventually got killed. Yes, right. Basically, what I learned was, his first mate was on deck with him, called Scott something, I can't remember the name, right? He was walking up and down. Apparently, in this is from historical accounts, apparently Scott got directly hit with a cannonball and split in half, right? Pretty much right next to him, right? A couple of crew members came across, immediately threw him into the water, brought the next person in line to be first mate, right? At which point Napoleon turned around and went, "Oh God, was that Scott?" And they were like, "Yeah." And he was like, "All right," and just carried on dictating what he was saying when Scott got blasted. About 3 seconds later, the guy who had been brought up, a cannonball went past him, didn't hit him, but was so close that the pressure wave knocked him unconscious and he fell and drowned.
Collingwood, a local man, has to come and
Meanwhile, Nelson was still just strolling around. What?
Wasn't there as
Well, they had to save him. From what I gather,
wasn't there a general who was like?
because he was a bit of an
I know
idiot.
that there was two generals that they could not be put together, so one was in charge of like something far away, and another was another. But wasn't there a general at some point who was famous for doing really long speeches, and it got to the point where like he survived assassination attempts and stuff while giving long speeches by just continuing on doing the speeches?
Can I talk about long speeches since you brought that up? Another thing I learned was that Gordon Brown was invited to be after dinner speaker at an event. I can't remember what it was. It was when he was Prime Minister, and they were like, "Oh, have the Prime Minister of the UK," and they said when they go on. He said, right, basically, he went up to talk. He'd done his speech, and then they said afterwards, "Were like, oh, what do you think?" and stuff like that. And they were like, "Yeah, he's good, but he does go on, quite a while, doesn't he? I mean, really rabbits on with his speech." He was panicking because he hadn't wrote a lot down. But he padded it out anyway. His speech was 45 minutes long. And when he came off stage, he was like, "I nailed that, didn't I?" And they were like, "Yeah, but you did go on a bit," and stuff like that. And he was like, "Well, that's what he said before he went on." They were like, "No, we said, make sure you give a strong 4 to 5 minute speech."
Well,
He gave a
he's
45-minute speech.
Scotsman. They thought he said 45.
Yes.
Well,
so he was there going, "Fuck, how am I going to make this 45 minutes?" Managed to get through it. Meanwhile, the whole other 40 minutes, they were like, "Is it fucking finished?"
I'm going to introduce you to a man who I think is after our own hearts. Steve Commissar.
You should know the word commissar.
He's not. He's American.
Sounds French.
So he's worse.
Well, hold on. So this is you've said this American has a French name.
This is
Mm-hmm.
the whole. He was a con man. He's been in prison, all that sort of stuff. Would you like to try and guess what he managed to con people?
Dildos.
Name, give it away.
I'll give you a hint. It was solar powered. No, he
The soul.
sold a soul. If
So
in national magazines, he sold solar-powered
different to being a
clothes
con man
dryers
trying
for
to sell people, like.
$49.95. Right?
damn it, I was close. Hold on, the sun does dry your clothes
No,
if you
this is
just
the
put it
thing.
outside.
It was a solar-powered clothes dryer. It
Well,
was in
it's
national
not a
magazines. It was
lie.
for $49.95. What
It
buyers
is a
received was a length
solar-powered
of
clothes
clothesline.
dryer. It's a washing line. In the same way that a
Exactly.
It is
non-clothes
solar
It's
powered, to be fair,
technically
unless you put it
true.
in the cupboard. Yeah.
It is.
I do think, though, because it exists as a washing line, I think the problem here isn't that he sold them it was a solar
it's
powered
probably a
electric dryer,
patenting
a
issue.
solar powered dryer, and it's a washing line. I think the problem is that the washing line is probably already patented, and because he hasn't said it's a
I just
washing
get
line
the
when it
feeling
is,
that
he's probably
I just
moved
get the
over that.
feeling that he probably sold it to a judge. I feel like it's one of those comic moments where it's like he's been arrested, he's going up towards the trial and everything, and he just looks towards the jury. Half of them he sold a washing line to. Where he goes, "Oh fuck," and then he just sort of waits, and the judge is announcing everything. He stands up and goes, "Oh, I hope I can get a good judge," and then just looks into the eyes of someone that he sold like 20 of these things to.
I love how Kyle thinks that the height of comedy is ripping off the one person that has the power to decide that you're not a
I
free
think
man
the
anymore.
height of comedy is those moments in films and stuff where it's like someone's done something bad or stupid, and it's like, oh shit, right, okay, the only chance I've got is getting like a good lawyer or a good judge, and then they just look up and it's one of the people they fucked over, and then you can just know that they don't have a chance in hell anymore. I just find that hilarious. It's like if someone is getting like convicted of stealing a child's pushchair, and then like they look up and the judge
That's
that's
a young
judging
judge.
them was someone that they stole a child's pushchair from like 10
10
years
years
ago
ago,
or
they
some
were
shit.
in a pushchair, and now that he stole a pushchair from them 10 years ago, so now they're like probably 10
No,
or
I
11,
mean like
maybe he's 12 at a push.
no,
a
you
judge,
know
I
what I
mean-
mean. Fuck's sake. I mean, to be fair, have you ever watched that, or you're smarter than a
But damn it,
10-year-old
Kyle.
show? I'm
Nothing
pretty
to do
sure
with-
half of us would fail.
That's got nothing to do with being smarter than a 10-year-old. That's about
I feel
the
like
education
sometimes
system
kids should be
bullshit.
in charge of the justice
They don't.
system. They might do a better job.
And teaching you useless shit rather than teaching you important stuff. Like how to balance a checkbook and how
Yeah,
to pay your
true.
bills and...
That's a
well,
good
then it's
point. It is
finished, isn't
warped.
it? Yes.
Right.
No.
Philip.
What if it's a finished book?
Philippe. Do you have a full beard? Jay. Do you have a
It's
full
only
beard?
half full.
Stefan.
Can you even grow a beard?
No.
You can see my face, don't
Me. I do not have a full beard. No.
I can
Would
grow one
anybody
myself.
Hell,
would
you don't even have
anybody
a-
like a full beard? All it costs is $10,000. Honestly, you can get a beard
pass then.
transplant. It's a procedure that takes an entire day and can run up to $10,000 for a full beard.
From your knackers.
The doctor and technicians remove hair strands with the follicles intact from another part of the body.
No.
Usually the bottom
I'm not
of
having
the
it.
back
They're not fucking
of the head,
technicians.
and then it's moved to where it is wanted
It's an
on
arse
the
hair
face.
transplant
So you
like what
can
Rooney
literally
has.
go and
Well, I've
get
got two issues with that.
hair from the bottom of the back of your head transplanted into
got
your
two issues
face
with that,
so
though.
that you can grow a beard.
Issue number one: what if you don't
Hold
have
on.
hair on your back like me? And second,
Isn't it like what?
okay, that's fine. But
Hold
head
on.
hair is
What I
not
want to know? Isn't
beard hair.
it?
Beard hair is thicker and wider.
No,
Oh,
it's on the
oh.
back of your
Head
head,
is
like where
thinner.
you grow your hair.
Wrong kind of hair. He needs more than a fucking
It depends
beard
on the
to come
type. It depends, I think.
Isn't it what
Yeah,
Rooney
something like
had? He put when they glued his arse hair to his head.
I think it's more like 98% more likely to be a granny shagger.
Does that mean that if you do get that, then you're 36% more attracted to
Yeah.
OAPs?
Yeah, it just added an extra 30%. He's ginger. What can we say?
No, because he was already like 60%
One or the
there,
other,
so
both. A soulless scouse. Do we have any scousers who listen?
yeah, took it to the 90%.
Oh, that's good.
I thought it was just because he
I was
scouts, to
going
be
to say,
One
it's
or
honest.
the
very
other.
good that they're listening to us and we're not listening to them.
It's the reason I brought
No,
it.
they're too busy jamming radars in case there's another one.
The reason I brought it up. The reason I brought it up is
No,
because
that's
you
my favourite
can,
thing
in
about it.
fact, because we all know Stefan
I have
has
little patches
has
inside my mouth, I don't
blotches, Jay has blotches. Everybody who has a beard usually has blotches, whether
would
it's to do with
consider that.
scarring or whatever.
I would consider that.
All right, you know what Stefan doesn't
You
have
can,
though.
in fact, just get those little blotches filled in, so you can have a
That's shit
beard
for you.
without
You-
flaws.
Can I just?
I'll do it for free.
You're saying, oh, Stefan
What?
has blotches and that. You know what Stefan doesn't have?
Oh, just a couple of grand.
No,
Well, I remember that
no,
from when
10
James
grand
was
to waste on
is for
getting
the
his
full
fucking
beard
arse hair glued
transplant.
onto
It
his
would
face.
just be a
Gets
couple
really
of
good, not
grand
those
to get
other
the
things.
blotches filled in, I think.
Kyle got his way. Yeah, it's probably more likely.
Oh, that's a bargain.
But I imagine that a lot of the big YouTubers and stuff thought that when they started out.
It's more likely to actually combust.
Also, and then what you can do, by the way, is if you do this and you get your like beard all filled
But
in,
Kyle,
it looks all lovely and
after-
nice. You can enter the World Beard and Mustache Championships coming 2023 to Auckland, New Zealand.
That's a disgrace. It's not even a good beard.
Oh, hold on.
Meant to be
Hasn't not Farage. Hasn't Jeremy Corbyn won the fucking
Here's a
beard
problem,
of the
though.
year in
I've got a
Parliament for
problem with
fucking
this.
years?
What about me? Because my beard is incredibly
I
ginger,
know.
but my hair is a brownie blonde.
Yes.
I'm
Dye my
surprised.
friggin' beard.
I'm assuming what they would do is sort of like
I don't want to be ginger.
yeah, or I'm
Hair dye,
wondering
mate.
because
It's been
because
invented.
they take the hair follicles like
Michael
intact and
Jackson
everything.
do?
I wonder if your body
Dye
somehow
hair.
reacts to it and automatically changes the color to match the rest.
Yeah, I get what Kyle means. So
Yeah.
maybe it's that your hair
I don't know. Maybe
follicles
it'll
on
change the structure
your
of it
head
as well
or
to make
where
it
your
more
hair
hairy.
grows determines the color of it rather than where
Possible.
where it's from. If that makes
Stranger
sense.
things in science.
Like maybe the nutrients it gets off your head is different, and that's why it makes it a different
Especially
color.
when you live in the Matrix.
I don't know.
Well, it's not, because you would have to obey the Swedish laws even
Anything's
if
possible.
Finland didn't exist.
Especially when I mean, if you live in Finland, anything's possible because you can just
Well, you are finished, because you've already committed the crime.
Well, that's the thing. What happens if you
Yes,
got
I
arrested
should
for
have.
committing a crime in Sweden and you genuinely thought you were finished?
Jay, take notes.
Ooh, if you go to Manchester
Sam Farjo.
if you go to Manchester in England, you can
Are you
find Dr.
pronouncing that the way
Bassam
that you don't wanna
Farjo,
pronounce
founder
it,
of the
just so it's
Farjo Hair
nice?
Institute. Yep.
Damn it.
He definitely did.
I'm not looking at how to grow a beard, it's just one of those things that I randomly stumbled upon on my searches. I'm fine
It's what
having
he-
no
it's what he
beard, thanks.
streamed
I'm quite
about since he was a
liking
little
not
girl.
being able to grow a beard because it means I don't have to shave too often.
It might have to be like 16 years.
That's
but
what someone who can't grow a beard would say.
no, you need like
What? Just me doing
I don't think it'll have any effect, to be honest. I
me
think he
doing
just
like
shaves
Movember or
just to
something.
bolster his manliness.
You need more time.
Probably,
You-
honestly.
Wife
Fuck
just
you
hell.
need
reminded
like
me of
more
something,
century.
actually, which is quite interesting. I
I do need more
chest
time.
hair
I need
until
fucking
I became a dad.
immortally.
You ain't got more time.
How is that linked?
That was terrible.
Why do you think I didn't have a beard while she was little?
That's just so the baby can pull on it and cause your life a fucking living hell.
No, like, this is a serious thing. Like, I had, obviously, nipple hair, because that's normal as fuck. But I had no chest hair until Imogen was born, and then suddenly I do. Somebody, is it?
I will say one thing. don't get your nipple pierced, because I did pull my dad's nipple piercing out
She's
when
got
I was a
worse things
baby.
to worry about.
What?
Who
Jay,
I wasn't
watch out.
planning on it.
I heard you.
So thanks for the heads up. Jay, there's worse things that could be pulled if you put your piercings back in.
We didn't say that one. You're the one that went there. None of us have touched
And I
it,
didn't
thankfully.
touch it.
I have not been anywhere near it, thank you, just because he
Okay.
spooned me once.
Oh, did he take it out for you? No, it's cock.
This is going terribly.
Euphemism. Euphemism from
Oh, man. Double entendre. Why?
somebody search it. What?
Does it weird you out?
What?
Yeah, euphemism is
Philippe,
French derived word, I
Philippe
believe.
and Stefan, military trivia for you now.
Yes, yeah.
It's because it's to do with military. Would you like an invite? It's sort of to do with film as well,
Yeah.
to be honest. So Jay,
They ask.
yes, you can. How do
you can't invite him after
how do
he
you think
said,
I
"Where's my
invited
invite?"
anybody to my party?
That's a bit of kick in the dick.
Just a party.
What, you got there was no
Basically.
one there, and everyone was just there and go, "Why haven't you invited me?" You're like, "Yeah,
Because then everybody just appears by. Because then everybody appears by themselves. You don't
This is
need
chaos,
to send
why?
invites out or anything. You don't need all the hassle because people just come to you going, yeah.
just occurred to me that I haven't actually
Apparently,
turned light on.
Jay might be able to confirm this. Apparently, in a lot of American films and stuff, it's popularized the use of the language of the Navajo as a basis for breaking,
In the Pacific,
for
there was
building
Native
a hard-to-break
American
codes
Indian
during
War,
World War
Native
II.
Americans who used Navajo in
One
order
of you
to
two
get
might be
along
able to,
Bonjour.
like,
so that the Japanese couldn't intercept it and couldn't understand it because Navajo is such a complex language and it's so far from English that even though the Japanese had started
Phil,
learning
Mike.
English, they couldn't do it. Welsh.
do you know what the UK equivalent was of said code?
They used Welsh.
It was Welsh. The Welsh was
Scouse.
apparently so far distracted from English and they couldn't learn it that we just used Welsh instead.
What I find is, have you noticed that the Welsh language in pronunciation?
I
is so
feel like I've got
similar
more of
to
a chance of understanding Welsh as Scout.
It is fucking mad.
Argentina.
Oh, Phil, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
No, listen.
It's because there was a lot of Welsh people who emigrated over there.
Do you know that there is actually a colony of there's a town of people that
Because why
speak
the fuck not?
absolutely fluent Welsh in Argentina?
Yeah.
Is it the train station or something?
Hold on.
Go, go, go. The go, go, go one.
You want
Well, I'm
me
going
to
to send you this. I want you to pronounce
I
it.
was instructed
Do you want
by
me
a
to
Welshman,
pronounce it or who to pronounce it?
funnily enough, a Welshman on how to say that, and I've
What?
totally forgotten. It is the go, go, go. It's clan.
Stefan, by the way, what time are we on?
It's not Lula, it's a klish. Klish. Double L is pronounced as a klish.
No, I mean, like...
So it's
It's 23 minutes past 9.
You know what?
124, Kyle.
Clan for Pelican Little Gohe Clan Little Goho. There we go. Probably.
You want to
Hello,
know how
or
to
some
actually say
shit.
it? You want to know how to actually say it? No, hold on. Wait, you're listening?
I'm in North West Wales, it's RAF Mona, just up the road from Llanfair to Pwllgwyngyll, go get a Quindrobble, Santa City go go go. The temperature got to 21.
This guy on the
Wouldn't be
news just
surprised
raps
if
it
he's
off
lived
straight
there
away.
sometime then. Fucking Liam Fleck,
You see that on the
I like how it fills the entire screen.
Draw both. Lun to
It's like a land bridge.
Go.
Yeah.
Are we just going to come back to Phil next week?
Stefan, the reason I'm asking for the time is because I have a topic that will take 2 minutes, but I want to have it as the last thing we talk about.
I can do the Tissilio go, but nah.
I have a topic that will absolutely destroy Jay.
Okay, go with that then.
It goes with your useless. Do you
My
want
next
to
useless?
transition into your next useless?
My next useless is
Yeah.
where the fuck is it?
If you can't find it.
Here we go. A Scottish teen was punished for contempt of court in 1993 because he kept unconsciously responding "I" when asked to say yes or no. As he told reporters, "I thought I was answering him." Apparently, the judges were saying like, "Please respond yes or no to the question," and he was going "I." Apparently, because he was saying "I" and not "yes," they decided to file him in contempt.
I is older than yes.
Oh, right. Hold on.
Yes.
So he was saying I instead of yes, and they were like, "He's just being belligerent."
It is.
Well, there is.
No, but this is the English attitude though, because a lot of people in this country do believe that if you're in this country, you should speak English, which I don't fully agree with.
There's no such thing as English because there's dialects. Like we don't speak English, we speak.
Okay, you should speak the English language.
New York jokes, very nice. But no, like the Queen's English. Oh yes, very, very good. But even
I've heard people from Queens, and I don't think they speak much English either.
Is she?
You know, the Queen's less posh than she used to be.
I really should listen to the speeches being a
Yeah.
realist and all.
If you listen to speeches from like when she first came into power and that, or if you listen to speeches from like the 50s, 60s, and you listen to speeches from like the last 10 years, she is a lot less posh than she used to be.
To be fair, here we'll go, right? My lord threatened Kevin, fuck's sake, Kevin Matheson, 18. To be fair, it could be a Scottish name, leave it alone.
Kevin, fuck's
with
sake,
contempt
Kevin
of court and dispatched him to the cells below for 90 minutes. The teenager's only crime was to reply "I" to the court's questions instead of "yet." He was summoned to appear at a means court in Stirling, where a small matter of an unpaid fine was to be disputed, was to be discussed. Asked by the sheriff clerk to depute if he was indeed Kevin Matheson, he replied "I." From the bench above, the learned Sheriff Nolan instructed the accuser to answer yes or no, to which Matheson replied "I." Informed that he would be held in contempt in court if he did not answer yes or no, the accused was asked if he understood that. "I," he replied. It was at this point he was taken to the cells. An hour and a half later, Matheson was brought back to the courtroom in order to clear the remainder of his fine under social work supervision. And yes, he apologized to the court. Sheriff Nolan released him and said that he would not be held formally in contempt. A good Scots "I" may not have been plain English, but with the greatest respect to his honour Nolan, which, fuck no respect to you for doing that shit, it remains a perfectly acceptable word of affirmation. In addition, "I" is also a recognised nautical term, and the "I's" often have it when it comes to voting time in the Houses of Parliament.
Scotland gives England a hard time all the time. Why do they think they want to be independent?
Here we go.
I hope that Scotland likes fish and chips.
Mr. K said, "Here was someone who understood what the man meant, but chose to humiliate him in front of a court. It is not the accused who should be ashamed of himself, it's the sheriff. the former editor of the Scottish National Dictionary and a retired reader, and part of the Glasgow University, described the sheriff's action as quite prosperous. The word "I" was standard Scots. It's ridiculous to condemn a man for saying "I" instead of "yes." It's a good Scots and natural. It's good old Scots and it's his natural idiom.
Well, he does.
Hold on, but before you go any further, I do agree. But on the same token, when we're talking and that, when we're relaxing, that we don't do it as much.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that we know and
You should
we do
be in
sometimes.
court.
We
You
go,
should
"Aye."
be using your politest.
Means the same to us because we're close to Scotland. We've got a lot of their dialect, right? But if you were in court and they said, "Will you reply yes or no?" You would say yes. You would be as polite as you could.
This is the problem. We've been brought up with
They were
rules.
specifically
a lot of
asked to
in
respond
Scotland,
yes or
because
no.
they've used "I" for yes their entire lives. Like, we've said yes and "I." A lot of people in Scotland are just "I." There is no yes. It's just "I."
Okay,
so in other
fine,
words,
but what I'm saying is, if you get taken to court and they say, "Oh, you're human," you say "I," and you say, "Right, before we go any further, you've got to answer yes or no." You go,
no, because,
"Okay, yes."
No, because
do you understand? Yes. You wouldn't then keep going. "I."
Sometimes.
I think if you were Polish and you didn't speak English and they said say yes or no, you'd still start saying yes.
Sink into your natural idioms, especially when you're in a moment of pressure, and nervousness, like when you're standing in front of a
Sounds
court
like an idiom.
and you've
So,
got other
in
things
summary,
on your mind other than making sure you say one specific word.
Well, that's Matheson.
Kevin Mathewson.
What was he called?
It's Kevin Mathewson, but it's spelled
Matheson.
Scottish, so it
Doesn't
doesn't
matter.
actually have a
It's
W
not
in it.
It's... Anyway,
That's why I'm saying
in
Mathewson.
summary,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
an ignorant
tiresome.
Scotsman was sent to jail for being an ignorant Scotsman.
That's why I'm saying Mathewson.
Let's not get bogged down with how you say it.
He's labelled as saying I didn't really know what was going on. The sheriff kept asking me to say yes or no, and I thought I was answering him. The next I canned, I was put in the cells.
Just say no, you dickhead. I can.
Yes.
Typical Scottish belligerence.
I don't fucking know.
Who the fuck's Ken? When did he get there?
Ken's
What?
a hill is
Why you got Ken's eye?
I kenned means I knew.
Who's Ken? Ken what?
I knew.
Ken means I know. It's like no.
Kenned.
It's like I can.
The next I kenned
like,
basically
yes,
means
I
the
know,
next
yes.
I knew.
Yeah.
I can.
No, it doesn't. It means the next time Ken got there.
Yeah.
We are
No, it
fucking
doesn't.
not.
No.
Scotland's
I
part
Ken, I only
Northumbrian.
means I know if you're talking to someone called Ken.
To be fair, we
We
should
would
be
be
friendly to the
first.
Scots. We basically are part Scot.
I'll just put it over there. Why should we be friendly to the Scots?
Our ancestors were specifically deployed to keep the Scots away, so instead what we did was sit on a wall with them, get pissed together, and make songs.
And Northumbria owned Edinburgh. So half of Scotland was Northumbrian anyway.
That's just because they make good whiskey.
What? Oh, don't even get me started with the American pronunciation of Edinburgh.
We still own Edinburgh.
Just as they say Pittsburgh instead of Pittsburgh.
Phil?
Edinburgh,
Phil.
Bamberg,
It's Edinburgh.
Middlesbrough.
Didn't...
Fuck off. They do. Oh, Bamberg.
Edinburgh. They say Edinburgh.
They say Bamberg though.
I'm amazed they don't go Bamberg. Bamberg.
You hear them when they're playing like Forza on YouTube and they say Bamberg.
Yeah.
They do but they do say Bamberg.
It's Bambara.
I'll move
Americans
on.
and Falls, I think it's fucking Bamberg Castle.
I'm gonna continue with our useless Americanness because I'm continuing the uselessness. This is the Americans' attempt at being useful and being friendly to the environment, which fucked up. A large load of tires used to create an artificial reef to increase the habitat for fish. Right now, up to there's the thing. A barge load of all towers used to create an artificial reef to increase the habitat for fish. It was created a while ago. Now up to 2 million old tires lie on the ocean floor from the well-intentioned yet misguided attempt to create
'cause
what
all
was
the
touted
one
as
in
the
the
world's
water for
largest
fish is
artificial tire
plastic
reef,
and
now an ecological
oil-based
disaster.
products, isn't it? When they complain when oil rigs start spewing out oil,
Oh,
you get
that
something that's made from oil, you
that
just
sentence
stick there as
sums
an
up
artificial
America.
reef. You may as well just dump 7 million tons of oil
Well
in the sea
intentioned
like
yet
we need.
misguided.
That's never been a problem at all. I do nothing.
Yep.
Yeah,
The fact of the matter is they had all the shit they wanted to get
because
rid of, and they had to find a
Phil,
reason
when you
to
Yep,
get rid
degrade
of it.
rubber and water
So
since
it
when
was.
has that ever been
apparently,
toxic?
No.
apparently,
This is why people love to live next to burning tire
Oh, that
fucking pits in
explains a
America
lot. It's
and
Florida.
don't get any
Jesus.
fucking cancerous
can I
fumes.
continue with the story?
America's dick.
You said
Apparently,
what, Phil?
it's in Florida, a mile offshore. It's a mile offshore it's a mile offshore the city's
Would be,
high-rise
wouldn't
condos and spring break bars lie as many as 2 million old tires strewn across the ocean floor, a white-walled, steel-belted monument to good intentions gone awry. The tires were unloaded there in 1972 to create an artificial reef that would attract a rich variety of marine life and free up space in clogged landfills. Little sea life has formed from the tires, however. Some of
So
the
why is it
tires
that
that were
plastic
bundled together
straws-
with nylon and
plastic
steel
straws
have
are being
broken
complained
loose
about,
and
but
are
this
scouring
isn't?
the ocean
Why are
floor
plastic
across
straws
the
using the
swath
rubber
the
tires
size of
floating in the sea
31
aren't?
football fields. Tires are washing up on beaches.
Fuck's sake. Football seats.
You know,
Actually doing
tires are washing up on beaches, thousands of
To be
wedged up
fair,
against
to be
nearby
fair,
natural
Phil,
reef,
I will-
blocking
I will-
coral growth and devastating
Hey, it's
marine
the
life. So
government.
not only is it bad for the environment, it's literally destroying the actual natural coral. Yes.
Phil,
Well, it depends on if they eated it.
yeah, but I will say
They might if they
that
eated
just
it.
Phil,
I'm
I
not
will
saying
just
that there's
say
any- no, I'm
that
not saying
I
there's
don't
anything wrong
think,
with
you know how
stopping
you
straws
said
and
what
all that
about
sort of
plastic
thing. I'm
straws
just
and
saying
shit,
that why
right?
is that
I don't think
publicised
that a
and
sea turtle's ever choked on a car tire.
everything else isn't?
I could be wrong. If they eated it,
Yeah, but at the
no, I
end
know
of the
you're
day,
not. I'm just saying that's
turtles
the main
are
danger is the choking, isn't
like
it?
there's other
On the
things, like
straws.
you says with the reefs, you know.
I'm just saying the main danger is the choking on the straws.
Remind me of the name of it. I've
So
gone blank.
unless you're thinking
Coral.
that there
With
were some
coral,
turtles that were like fucking Galapagos
coral is
tortoises.
way more important than a turtle. Because coral supports life of other things, whereas turtles just eat things and live
Coral
as turtles.
reefs.
Which I suppose nothing can live in a turtle, can it?
Can I also just say that
The betting shop.
You could try.
can I just also say that a governor was
Coral.
a governor called Christ, by the way, proposed a budget that
technically.
included 2 million to help gather up and remove the tires, with military
You know, if
divers
you-
doing their share of the work as well. A month-long pilot project was set, with the full-scale salvage operation expected to run through an entire year at the cost to the state of about 3.4 million. This was supposedly to be set up through
It's been
in
11 years, you'd
2007
think they would
through
have
to
reported taking a dig in
2010.
it, wouldn't you?
So we'll have to see if they succeeded or not, but I'm assuming probably not because it's the Americans.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Phil,
They are actually a very good sustenance.
what I
as
will
well
say
if
is, you know,
ever wanna
turtles,
get
how they're
stuck
all
in a
hard on the
tropical
top.
island. Turtles are actually very good. Very fish-like, though.
They're soft underneath, so if you turn them upside down, cook them,
There are certain
eat
brands,
them.
types
They're in a bowl
certain
then,
brands
so
of
they're the
turtle
only
and other
animal that
brands
serves
are
themselves.
certain there are certain breeds.
Do you want to know
cer-
some of the
certain
beauty
species
of this
turtles that
article?
aren't as endangered as others and are commonly eaten around the world,
Other brands of
including
turtles.
places in Florida.
The M&S turtles are apparently nice. Yeah, Jay wouldn't let me eat turtle.
Can we eat gator?
Jay wouldn't let us eat turtle. We came up with this idea that we are going to have
Antigua
the
and
dish.
Barbuda, it's done
We
the
are
other
going to
way
have a
around.
delicacy dish like a local delicacy from every country in the world. We're going to try it. We're going to see if we can either
I'm not, but they
import it or we can get Kyle to make it or whatever. I started with, I think it was Barbuda and Antigua or something. And I was like, and I found out.
Lovely British possession.
All right, sorry, it's the same fucking thing. Just because it's not alphabetical doesn't get pissy. But yeah, Antigua and Barbuda, and there's no, it wasn't. I remember because I like the name. It was St. Vincent and the
I'd like
Grenadines,
to eat gator.
and their local dish. Yeah, man. One of their local, their main local dish includes turtle, and I was like, awesome. And I was like, Kyle, write this, and he was like, where am I going to
Is
get
it a
turtle
good
from? And
year?
Jay was immediately kicking off.
It's got to be good, yeah.
Stefan,
gotta be
Well,
good.
can you guess the
You don't like
provider of
someone.
the
You don't
tires?
sound like someone.
Stefan
from
and
St.
Phil
Vincent
and Jay, can you guess the provider? It was Goodyear. It was Goodyear.
Goodyear.
Goodyear
Goodyear.
also
It's gonna take Goodyear to
donated
come
equipment
close.
to bind and compress the tires, and the Goodyear
Oh,
blimp
not bad,
even dropped a
actually.
gold-plated tire into the ocean in a ceremonial start to the project. The tire company actually issued a press release at the time that proclaimed the reef
But
would
who
provide a
reported these
haven for
properties?
fish and
Who
other
told them
aquatic
that it was
species,
good?
and noted the excellent
It wasn't
properties of scrap
environmentalists, it was
tires as
somebody
reef
who wanted
material.
that tip emptied.
Uh,
They had a great year. They disposed of their tyres without having to pay anything.
No.
here we go,
Toxic
right?
properties.
No, are you ready?
Goodyear.
No one can say with no one
It
can
was
say with
Goodyear, and they had a
certainty why the
Goodyear.
idea doesn't work. But one problem is that unlike large ships that have been sunk for reefs, tires are too
Made
light.
out of oil.
They can be swept away by the tides and powerful storms before marine life has a chance to attach. Some scientists also believe the rubber leaches toxins. Nay shit. Virginia tried it several decades ago, but Hurricane Bonnie in 1998 ripped the tires loose and they washed up in North Carolina. New Jersey scientists thought they had a solution to the weight problem by beginning a small reef project with about 1,000 tires, split in half, bound together, and weighed with concrete. It didn't work because pieces of rubber broke loose and floated free.
Blythe.
Because nothing says
Yep.
proper
Apparently,
reef
they
like
then tried stacking
freeform,
tires
a
10
square
high
block
and
of
filling
fucking
the
concrete
cylindrical
tires.
center with concrete. Each stack weighed about a ton. While the tires stayed in place,
disposal.
scientists soon learned they didn't have enough
That's
surface area for
disposal
marine
of
life to
tyres
attach,
and an
so
Right,
they switched
that-
to
Why
using
would you put
concrete
them in the
balls.
sea is what that is.
That's because that's not a reef. That's a fucking support column. Unless they were building shit under the water.
Probably work better.
Yeah, hold on. So Mafia busters, concrete shoes, put the guy's shoes in
Apparently,
concrete
by
pipe under the water. When the bodies
2005,
go found, they say, "No, we're just making a reef."
that volunteers for the ocean conservation
It's America.
conservation.
They make up words.
It's because it's conservancy, but I didn't know that was a word. The Ocean Conservancy's annual international coastal cleanup
Conservancy.
removed
Here's
more
an idea
than
for how they can get
11,000
Conservancy.
tires. So 11,000 tires have already been removed by 2005
It's not made
because
of
of
words.
volunteers. But apparently, they did actually hold them
Conservancy.
together
This
with
is-
steel and stuff as well. The problem with that is that the steel and stuff rusted away, causing it to all come loose as well. So,
this
everything,
is Florida, correct?
everything they tried,
I got the
everything they
impression that the
tried
steel was just
either
a steel thread in
rusted
the tire.
away
Yeah.
or
It'll
just
be
didn't
anything
work
at the
because it was
southern
concrete.
east or- Yeah, well, they're all in the southern eastern
This
coast.
is Florida, but
Now,
also apparently
I've
other
got an
states
idea for how they can get them
in
removed.
America tried the same thing
Well,
because it
Florida's
does
got a big
quote
problem
like
with
North
crackheads, so just
Carolina
offer
and
them crack
places.
until they get all the tyres gone. For each tyre, offer them crack.
Other
You've done it in the
states are
beaches,
available.
Yeah, take a bucket of rubbish and you'll get a free ice cream. Just offer them crack.
Because of home territories.
I did not say they're all crackheads, Florida listeners, but you do have a problem with crackheads.
Hold on. I thought
No, I didn't say
I-
all Floridians.
I
said
thought that
Florida
you
has
were
a
gonna
problem
say
with crackheads.
they're
No,
all
all
crackheads. Just grind it up,
But
put
that's
that
in
crack.
the same way as saying where I live is full of crackheads, which it is. And smackheads,
You
which
did
it
say.
is.
Yes, it did. Phil did say
No,
that
is it
all
thinking, when I moved here, I
Floridians.
expected to see more smackheads. Kind of disappointed.
That's basically saying they're all crackheads.
Sort of. It was Browntown.
It is.
I'm not hard.
It is.
Not now. Actually, that's a good point, Stefan. Well done.
Well,
Well
it's
done,
known
Stefan.
as the drug
For
capital of
once,
the Northeast.
I'm not I am.
Just because you're
on
too
Murphy.
high, you notice
I
them
am
walking past
sober
it doesn't
to
mean they're not there.
Phil, considering
It's probably because I don't get paid.
considering the fact that
Oh, Phil,
considering according to searches
how
for like
high's the
crime
Chinaman?
statistics, apart from Newcastle and Sunderland, which are like the two main cities in the northeast, where you live is the next closest crime centre hub.
Apart from, according to the statistics,
Oh, for fuck's sake, fuck off.
the
Right,
crime rate
Stefan,
in
what
Finland is
time
so
are we on
low
for the
because it's
recording?
imaginary.
Sorry, the wife was talking to me. I had to go.
How long have we
Let's
been
not worry
recording?
about that because I don't know.
You continue
An
with you
hour
go with
45. Carry on.
uselessness,
I've
and
got
then
more
I'll finish
uselessness
up
if you
with my
want.
little bit after.
I've got a short one for a start. These two could break it. So, uselessness
Yes.
number one is that there was a guy who owned a used car lot in America, right? Used car dealership. And it was in Texas, it was in Fort Worth.
Tails.
And
Suddenly
it
from
kept getting
Sunderland.
broken into. It got
Tails.
broken into so much, I think
That
it
means
was
he needs
like,
better
it got
looks.
broken into 5
Tails.
times
I
within
thought
like
you
a
were from
month or something
Sunderland,
like that,
trying
right?
to say tools.
So more than once a week.
Sorry,
Yes.
move on.
So no, but they kept putting out showroom windows. They would break stuff. They would
Oh, fuck
steal
off.
tills. The store, they smash the front vending machines, damage things. Tills. No, tills. Cash registers, Phil, American. They were stealing out. Yeah, right, there we go. And they even took the odd car, right? So he was like, right, I'm going to get a car. The police, for a start, came, didn't do anything. I don't know who's done this. We haven't found the car. They haven't left any evidence. So he got sick and he was like, right, I'm going to get a guard dog. So he got a guard dog, right? And he had the guard dog the first night, nothing happened. He had the guard dog the second night, nothing happened. He had the guard dog the third night. When he came in on the morning of the fourth day of having the dog, somebody had went in, smashed the showroom window, stole 2 cash registers, came out, stole a car, took the dog with him. They stole his guard dog.
For anybody who doesn't realise why we call it the GT grinder, it's because Jay had one. What a
Something to talk.
How's the Jag, Jay? I'm just thinking, just since Kyle's buggered
Yes.
off for a minute.
The GT grinders
how's
were
the
all
Jag?
gone.
You broken it again yet?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Because it's shit.
Have I shown you guys what
Phil,
I've got on
you
my
were
driveway?
far from your mic. The shaggy one.
Yes, but it's not mine.
Hey.
A friend of mine crashed it in Felton. I've got to repair the front end. It's a Golf Mark 5.
I need.
He drove it from Felton.
Oh, for
with
fuck's
the,
sake! Does it have an
coolant
engine?
temperature sensor hanging out of the radiator and no coolant.
All right, so it's an engine, but there's no car.
Oh, and he detached the oil cooler as well, so it had no oil.
Hold on, he crashed it in the Felton.
And he drove it from Felton.
He crashed it in the Felton and it ended up on your drive. He moved.
Sat on my driveway. It runs all right. It's one of the 2-litre, the non-PD engines that just run forever. It's a diesel. It's a
Right.
2-litre diesel TDI non-turbo Golf Mark 5.
Right.
But it needs. If you you're a good
That'll
person
be
to
fine.
talk to. It needs a front bumper, a bonnet, a left
All
wing,
right, so you can't literally run them
a
dry
slam
for about
panel,
3, yeah?
and a left passenger side front window.
Yeah. Yeah, won't die then.
I don't know. Well, I know, but he's doing all that shit. Apart from the window.
Nobody's his up here.
You've seen how
Yes.
you got to get what you got to do to get the
Yes.
window out of Mark 5 Golf.
Yes. Yes.
Side of the door off. Yes, I've got to do that.
Where's the
yes.
best place to get that?
Yeah.
Scrapyard.
Yeah. It's
Scrapyard.
fun. The fun part is though that the window is nothing.
Yes,
but
you have to open the door and take the entire
he
outside
left
of
it
the
in
door
Felton
skin
for
off to
3
get
days.
into it. Yes.
And
Yeah,
the
that's
local
Mark 5 Golf
Feltonite
fun.
put one of the fence
Yeah, I had that
posts
fun
through
when
the
mine
window
got
that he
smashed.
crashed into.
I had that fun when I wanted to tint the windows on mine.
Well, I'm not going to say anything to incriminate said person, but he wasn't in a fair state to drive. Let's just put it that way.
What?
And he was driving too fast, showing off to his
Oh.
mate, and I've got to repair it. No,
Well,
you
if he
don't.
hadn't crashed at the fence post, it wouldn't be loose, to be fair.
It sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Well, that's not
It
good.
could
Then.
be a lot of people. Yes, it could be a lot of people. Yep.
I feel like I know who this person is.
Yeah.
I know I don't, but it
Objects.
just sounds like there's someone we know. It's Mark 5
I'll take a
Golf,
photo and I'll
driving
send
too
it over.
fast, not
I've
in a
taken
fit state to
the old
drive.
ring off and everything. It's ready to have new parts put on, but I'll quickly
Left the scene of an accident.
Yeah, it's a right state.
Hit
It's been
a
sat in the driveway
posted
for about a month.
object.
Apparently he's coming
Oh,
up
hi.
next week to come and bring some parts, apparently.
The old Wang.
Actually, Jay, actually, I think it was Jay who put that photo in the chat. It's pretty close.
Where's the Wild Kyle one?
There you go, lads. You can see it. Oh, I need a
Okay.
left headlight as well. So that's the shit box I've got on the driveway at the minute.
No,
I think I better
it's,
shit box on that.
Stop playing with a snake when we're online.
I wouldn't say that. Oh, it's because I've got something on my driveway. That isn't mine.
I like how I come back and all he has shit boxes. Holy shit.
Right.
Yes.
Hold on.
Oh god.
Hold on. Right, Kyle. Are you ready for useless? I'm gonna read you some shit. And this is gonna destroy Jay. Right. Oh, you wait. I was going to... Right, I'll explain. So, oh, where is it? Here we go. Right, so, there is an AI. If anyone's heard of this, don't interrupt because it's hilarious. It'll be funny. Right, so there is an AI. There's a studio called Botnik Studios, right? And there's an AI that they were training. And they decided to test it out, and they've published it, or released to the website in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did was they fed it all 7 Harry Potter novels, right? And then they got it to write an unofficial chapter of an unofficial novel in the style of J.K. Rowling, obviously about Harry Potter and stuff. And it is fucking hilarious. So this is what it came up with. It's called Harry Potter and the Portrait of What Looked Like a Large Pile of Ash.
So it's killing the ghosts.
Yes.
Was this what? Sorry?
Right. Chapter 13, the handsome one. The magically intensified wind blew against Hogwarts castle grounds, where the black sky rained blood. Meanwhile, in Hagrid's hut, all that was audible was his furniture. All that was audible was his furniture. Harry thought magic was very
Harry's
good.
Dead.
Rain fell like leathery sheets on top of Harry's
Best
ghost as he
part.
walked the grounds. Harry came across Ron doing a... It gets better, dude. Harry came across Ron doing a frenzied tap dance, but once he saw Harry, he immediately started eating Hermione's family.
Thanks, Kyle. Thanks very much for just completely
Ron's
forgetting
Ron's
about
Ron
me.
shirt was just as bad as he was, and he looked like a loud, slow and soft bird to Harry.
Shirts.
You forgot about Jay. Now you're forgetting about me. You're gonna forget about Stefan next.
Phil shirts.
He did not like to think about birds.
Gibberish.
I've got to continue the theme. We'll have the... No. No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a Phil
You.
shirt, but we're gonna have
only
it
available
where
once a
we'll
year.
only
It's a
send
one-time
you a
offer. There'll
patch
be a
a
new
month,
shirt every
so you
year.
have to collect all the patches to see
And it'll be
it's because
racist.
you're absent so often.
Or we could just, it's only available once a month.
A mouse or something.
But it'll have like
Yeah.
the intricate
Anyway,
blueprint of like a military machine.
This
with
is gonna break you eventually, right? Anyway, I'm gonna carry on. I was going to pick like certain like bits of this that are funny, but it's all hilarious. So I'm going to continue. Ron spotted Death Eaters on the castle roof, and he was going to be spiders, but he was not proud of it, knowing that he'd be covered in them anyway. Hermione suggested that they listen to the Death Eaters' meetings, so the trio made their way to the castle roof doors
Sounds like a
landing.
rap
They
witches on
almost ran
climbing.
in, but witches aren't climbing. I know. Ron then looked at the doorknob, then painfully at
When
Hermione,
you said
seeing that the door was
was
closed.
that orb or
Mr.
was that orb?
Staircase, a resident ghost, elaborated that it was definitely locked. They screamed at the door and asked it to be replaced with an orb. Then Hermione cried out the password. Beef women.
Please tell me this AI wrote an entire book and I can buy this book.
No, unfortunately it's one chapter, but there has been people who have kind of copied the style of the AI. They've copied the AI and found out how to work stuff
Hey,
to
it's
like
Pride
the
Death
existing AI
Eaters.
that we can use to a similar thing and done other chapters, but none of them are as funny as this. The trio then stood behind a
Is there
Death Eater
somebody who
circle whose members
identifies-
looked bad. One
Is
Death
it a
Eater
Harry Potter
confidently
fan who
kissed another
identifies
Death
as a
Eater
Death
on the
Eater?
cheek, and the others clapped for him.
How awkward
The Death
would that
Eaters went
be
over their plan
if
to
you
strip
walked
Harry of
over
his
and
magic.
kissed someone on the cheek and then all your friends just turned and
And Harry-
applauded you?
I've just
What did
read ahead. I don't.
I
No,
didn't
on your
notice because
wedding
was
I
way
can
too
understand,
nervous,
but
did
just
you
randomly,
awkwardly
like,
clap
you're
at my
sitting
wedding?
on a rooftop, like, someone just randomly turns and kisses someone else's cheek, and then
Claps.
every other person there just turns and claps.
Okay.
We didn't awkwardly clap.
Like, the golf clap, just, yeah.
Bumming.
Anyway, let me continue. I've just read ahead and I'm going to try not to lose my shit.
Now, don't do that again!
Right. The Death Eaters went over their plan to strip Harry of his magic, and Harry could tell that the Dark Lord was
He who
behind
shall
him.
not be eyed.
Overreacting, Harry ripped his eyes out of his
This
head,
would
much
make
to
the Harry
Voldemort's
Potter book
confusion,
so much
threw
more
them into the
interesting.
Forbidden Forest, and told Voldemort off. Voldemort's the most known person in this, by the way. Yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, Hermione dipped the face of a tall Death Eater who was wearing a shirt that said, "Hermione has forgotten how to dance," into the mud, and Ron threw a wand at the Dark Lord while everyone applauded. Then he slowly reached for his own wand, while Harry, as he muttered,
Hermione in
"Ron's
some
the
hot
handsome
sauce.
one," reluctantly did the same.
Can I just say
They
this,
cast-
this is a
They
this is
cast a
thing
spell or
to
two
all
while
the
green
people who
light
think
shot out of
that,
the heads of
the
the Death
Terminator's
Eaters,
real and
causing Ron
Skynet's
to
gonna take over.
afterwards.
This is what the
Harry
AI
thought,
does.
"Not so handsome
That
now,"
just
as he
sounds like
dipped
a
Hermione
fun
in
This
some
is
thing.
hot
AI
sauce.
right now. This is AI doesn't stand a chance of taking over the world when they're doing this shit. Unless they lull them into a false sense of security.
It's just fucking marvelous.
They're gonna dip the universe in hot sauce.
Maybe we'll all be dipping each other in hot sauce.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is fucking gold.
I dip with hot sauce. Oh, this is brilliant. Right, hold on then, right. The Death Eaters were dead, and Harry was as hungrier than he had ever been. Meanwhile, moaning chandeliers filled the great hall with a large while a large librarian used masonry books to decorate the sinks. Mountains of mice exploded and long pumpkins fell off McGonagall. Dumbledore's hair then went next to Hermione as he arrived at the school. The Hufflepuff pig pulsed like a bullfrog, and Dumbledore, smiling at it, placed his
Hagrid's
hand
become a
softly on
pig.
its head and told it that it is Hagrid now. Another pig's become Hagrid. The trio said together that they're the only people who matter, that he's never going to get rid of them, and the castle floor seemed to be a big pile of magic, and then the Dursleys weren't ever going to be there. Harry then looked around, fell down the staircase for the whole summer. Afterwards exclaiming,
to be fair, the
"I'm Harry
staircases do
Potter.
move, so you
The
could
dark arts
Johnny,
of
what about
gonna
walking
be
down the
worried.
stairs?
Oh boy."
Sure thing,
That's it.
Johnny. I love it.
for the entire summer.
Yeah, SDF movie references. Fucking
And then Stan
takes me
stood
back.
up and exclaimed, "I'm Harry." Like, well, after you fell for the whole summer, you're going to exclaim like anyone's still there. Excellent.
Yeah.
The seventh.
I like trains.
Will that be King
Yeah,
Edward
man.
the Seventh, who
Oh, God.
King
Yeah.
Edward the Seventh, who didn't last very long?
Since we're talking about trains, you know what I found out?
People go splat on
Right,
trains, but sometimes you don't
King
realise someone's
Edward.
got
Why
splat
are
because
you-
it's just mush.
Hold on.
Why were you
Ooh.
shot by SEAL Team 6? Explain that to us.
All right, can I explain my... But I know we're talking about
Osama bin
useless, so can I
Laden.
quickly explain my thing? My name this week. Right, there was a man who was stopped, right? Because he was ID'd when he was trying to get on a plane, and he had a fake government ID card with the name of the
does up
notorious but
Mercedes as
dead
well.
terrorist Osama bin Laden, including a pixelated, blurry photo of bin Laden. They arrested the man, right? It took them a while, but they found out that his actual name was Saddam Hussein Mansouri.
He was called Saddam Hussein, so he got a fake
He was
passport
called. He
with
was
the
a
name
terrorist.
Osama bin Laden.
No,
so
he
that
was.
he wouldn't think
You know,
he
it's
was
not
a terrorist.
Mansouri.
Something
But
tells
he was
me
no,
that
dude.
he
Saddam
was
Hussein. He
not
was
the
called Saddam
sharpest
Hussein
knife
and
in
thought,
the
"Oh, I
drawer.
don't want them to think I'm a terrorist." Bin Laden.
Something tells me if he was to plan a terrorist attack, it would go well.
Bin Laden. Yes.
Something tells me
Yes.
he was American.
I don't think he was.
Yeah. Don't they play football with a bell in the ball as well? Thank you, dear.
And another. Oh dear.
Yes.
Another useless one was, you know, in the Olympics. Oh, sorry, you know the
Yeah.
Paralympics. They do blind marathons and stuff. Yeah, and they have a guide who they're tethered to. Yes, but this is about the marathon, right? They're not allowed that. That
I'm
tether is
guessing
not
one of
allowed
them
to be
ran too far
elasticated,
and then got
right?
brought back because
And
the
it
other
was
one
until
couldn't keep up.
2016. Do you know why it's not?
Really, they were running ahead and just going thwang.
Almost. It was allowed until about 2016, where they observed three
Hey,
different
if it's
Chinese
stupid,
runners,
but it works,
blind
it's not
Chinese
stupid.
runners, being, and I quote, catapulted across the finish line by the fucking their guides.
That is
Well,
fucking
I mean,
work
to
hard,
be
work
fair,
smart,
if you
and
want to
that
win,
is.
No, I think they were just running ahead and just go.
Runners across the finish line.
Exactly. It's innovative. That is efficiency. It's like the whole efficiency is just clever laziness. And innovation is just a bad idea that someone thought.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah.
Didn't King Edward come
So,
into power
anyway.
after Victoria, which was 1901? Because it's Edward
Well,
the
right. So
Seventh
anyway,
that
when
she's
when King Edward died, in
Just say the
1902,
1900s.
He's the one that abdicated after a few weeks.
was it 1902? I'm going out on a limb here. Yeah. Hold on.
1972. You were
Yes,
only
I am.
70 years off.
So it could be 1902.
Yeah, no. Yes.
You've got the
Right,
wrong
no,
king.
hold on.
That's what it is.
1972.
1972.
It's just like
That's not
us.
right.
Hastings, it's the wrong king.
No, I've got the wrong.
That sounds like this.
You've got the wrong key there.
I've got the wrong Edward.
Scottish, and I'm pretty sure that's something that.
Ooh, love, that's gonna
wrong
cost
king.
you. You've got the wrong king there. Ooh,
Fuck's sake.
Well,
that'll take a lot to fix.
Bloody
Yeah,
Mary.
probably, honestly. Oh, you've got the wrong king there.
Right, here we
what
go.
you
He
need
died
is
in
a
1910.
queen. We've got this lass
died in
called
1910.
Mary. Do you wanna?
So,
I really don't think we need any more information.
Edward the Seventh died in 1910, and the reason I want to bring this up is because I want you to know the pettiness of rich people, and this is what I would be like if I was loaded. So
Yeah,
trains.
They had to run to a schedule.
No, but this is awesome. Trains at the time.
Or their own train.
If you're rich, you had your own train carriage. Like we have our own car, right? So if you're rich, you would have your own train carriage, and not a lot of people had their own train. A lot of started by train companies because you couldn't just plonk a train on a line and do what you wanted. It still had to be regulated. Yeah, but what you could do is you'd had your own train carriage and you could pay. You would basically go to a train company and you'd say, I'm going from here to here, and you'd pay them for them to put your carriage in the train, basically, right? Sometimes, but it wasn't very often. Some people did that, and then you could lease family carriages, which were rich people's carriages that you could rent the whole carriage for your family if you were wealthy. Pretty much. But anyway, so you'd have your own carriage and that. So when King Edward VII died in 1910, Ferdinand I of Bulgaria, who not a lot of people liked anyway, was obviously invited over. A lot of people coming over from Europe, and he was like, right, I want to be on this train. Obviously, you know, the way it works is, obviously, if you're the first carriage right behind the driver, you're the most important person. So he was like, I want my carriage in, I want it in there, no bother. So they put it in for him, right? Then another guy turned up and started arguing with him. And this was a guy that you might have heard of, right? And he was called Archduke Franz Ferdinand, right? And everybody didn't like this Ferdinand of Bulgaria guy, but everybody loved Archduke Franz Ferdinand, and Archduke Franz Ferdinand was richer, and he was more popular, he was more well-known, and he was like, right, I want to be at the front. So there was a massive argument on the way to the king's funeral over whose fucking carriage was going to be at the front. Obviously, Archduke Franz Ferdinand won, put his carriage in first, but what that meant was that Ferdinand's carriage was the second carriage in the train directly behind Franz Ferdinand's carriage, yeah?
And 4 years later, we started a war with him.
About 25 minutes into the journey across Europe, so this was probably a journey of days, right? Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the most wealthy and respected guy, first carriage on the train, gets up to go to the dining car. Ferdinand just locked his carriage door and wouldn't let him through. A little bit.
If you think about that, that is ridiculous.
Well, we didn't. That was Serbia's fault.
This caused a war with France.
A Serbian shot an Austrian, which started a war between Germany, which pissed off Germans, which caused a war with the British.
The thing is, if we'd stuck with history,
caused a war with France, and because we were friends with France,
we would have been.
We weren't friends with France. France was friends with someone else who was friends with us. It's such a weird fucking thing when you think about it. It's like.
Hold on.
If you think about it,
I'm just going to say, I'm going to say something. It legitimately
sounds like a school ground fight where someone's pushed someone over, so they've gone and told the brother, who's told the cousin, who's told the uncle, who's told the dad, who's ended up having a fight with a teacher.
Don't trust oversimplified. He doesn't get things right very often.
Yes.
No offense.
I've also seen
oversimplified and
horrible histories.
But the thing,
that explains it perfectly.
Like, this is a bit of an unpopular opinion, but the Western powers, the Allied powers, caused Hitler.
He does get things right. They're just massively, massively simplified. That's the point. It's unusual from you. This is a bit of an unpopular. Oh, this is the thing as well. He was made to sign. Germany was made to sign the Treaty of Versailles on the train carriage. Then Hitler made France sign their surrender terms basically on the same train carriage. So at great expense, he got this train carriage brought over in the middle of a war. And then when he knew Germany was going to lose, he ordered the train carriage to be destroyed because he didn't want basically another treaty to be he didn't want to be forced to do it back again.
Go on.
If this guy concentrated on the war as much, 100%, I would 100% agree with that. But I will say one thing: there's one thing that both world wars have in common. There's one nation that started them both. Yeah, Austria. Franz Ferdinand, there was an assassination attempt that he got away with. He could have just went home. He could have went into hiding. He knew he was in danger. Decided, no, I'm going to go back and see the guy that's in hospital. Okay, fair enough. His driver then took a wrong turn and was stalled in front of the guy. He got shot. That started World War II. If Franz Ferdinand had just went home or just didn't go out when he was told not to, World War One. I agree with you. It was going to happen at some point. That was the tipping point, but it might not have kicked off then. It might, in an idealistic world, it might have been avoided completely, but that's not really likely. And then the signing of the Treaty of Versailles, and Hitler was Austrian, and he started World War II.
Military, when Austria had every right to shoot him,
Fucking Austrians,
to shoot him as for desertion, then that wouldn't have happened.
Deserter style, yeah.
Yes, he didn't shoot him. He spared his life, and he regretted it for the rest of his life until he died.
Yeah.
No, but he was still
the other side of that argument, or the other instance of that is that Hitler was or should have been shot by a British soldier.
But anyway, it doesn't matter because not everything that Hitler did was bad, and I know it's an unpopular thing because not everything.
Well, I mean, he didn't know he was going to be Hitler. To be fair, it's the whole. It's the whole. If you could go back.
Other than what he did to the Jews, there's not a lot that Hitler did that was wrong. Well, the Jews and the minorities, I would say.
Yeah, but he wasn't trying to shoot anybody. He was running away.
I want to see some of Hitler's art.
No, listen. Hitler had some good ideas. He just went about it the wrong way.
Yeah,
I want to see Hitler's art.
Was a bit of a prick. But the point is, though, like, when he wanted to invade these areas, such as the Sudetenland, parts of France, I've forgotten what the name of the part of France.
That was a lot of Goebbels and Himmler, to be fair.
And the parts of
Himmler was the mastermind behind the concentration camps and the real bad egg in that equation.
I forgot what the place is called. Alsace-Lorraine. That's rightfully part of Germany. The same as the Sudetenland in the Czech Republic is rightfully Germany. The part of Western Poland is rightfully German, pre-First World War at least.
Belgium.
But it was after the First World War. They were ordered to give it all back, and he only invaded the part of the Sudetenland, which we let him get away with, which was fine. He then invaded Poland and started war with it, and then he invaded France.
Got ordered
if he
to
had
give it.
stopped at the lines of what used to be Germany, World War II would have ended very quickly. But he got greedy.
The whole point. Yeah, but the whole point was that, like you said, the Treaty of Versailles was overly harsh, and it was on purpose, a purposeful humiliation of Germany after what they did. So it was deliberate, and so, like you said, he took the Sudetenland. We knew what he was doing. We knew he wanted the Sudetenland, and he was like, right, I want that, and we were like, you can't have it. And then he went in and was like.
And if the British Army had any sort of foresight as to what the future was going to be...
Well, this is the thing. So he said, I want the Sudetenland, and we went, no, you can't have it. And he went, well, I'm going to take it anyway. And we went, well, you can't really do that. And then he went and done it, and we didn't do anything. So because we didn't do anything, he thought, well, I'm not going to do anything, I'll just keep going. Then went to Poland. The rest is history.
Right, I'm going to...
More lighthearted than Hitler?
I am going to... And
then we wouldn't have to watch a good film that's ruined by fucking
something a little bit more light-hearted, but not so much for vegans, because Stefan always loves insulting the vegans. Yeah.
More light-hearted than war.
You know how firefighters sometimes,
what's more light-hearted than total global annihilation?
Sometimes you get rewarded with strange things. So sometimes you'll get like a.
Oh, see how this is going to be more light-hearted. Dear.
Were they given bacon from one of the piglets? Please tell me they were given bacon
after
from
firefighters.
How strange that you reward me with flowers and sweets.
Firefighters saved a group of piglets from a barn fire at a farm.
You saved these pigs, so therefore you can have some of these pigs. That's the way to do it, man.
6 months later, the farmer sent them
Saved the
sausages
barn
made
from
from
some
the
piglet
piglets
fire.
as a thank you gift.
Yes. That's a good thank you gift. That's not
Yeah,
strange.
the baby pigs and 2 sows were freed by firefighters from Pewsey in Wiltshire when the barn went up in flames. The farmer promised she would present the firefighters with organic sausages when the animals were slaughtered for their meat. 6 months later, she did just that, and the firefighters cooked the bangers on a barbecue. However, the farmer and firefighters have faced criticism from some who have found the arrangement a little
That's
queasy.
a pretty good way of saying thank you, though, isn't it? Giving them some liver, like animal liver, like foodstuff animal liver, for giving somebody a liver. Oh, my liver.
I get it. Like, if a surgeon saved your life by performing
I like ours.
life-saving, like a liver transplant, when you died, your family wouldn't
Oh,
then
and a nice
send the surgeon
Chianti.
some liver.
Stefan, what you playing?
Just
Let's
have it.
send them-
Just have it some with. Just have it with some.
No, I
farmer
was on
beans
about
and
your
liver.
Chianti.
Well, not yours personally. Well, yeah, yours in this equation. And a nice
Right.
Chianti.
Jay, right, Stefan, I want you to
Oh,
pause your
piece
game
of
because
shit.
you're going to hit the stop
Mate,
button
I'm
in a
playing
minute.
SnowRunner, mate.
But we're not going to end yet because I want Jay to
I
do
am
his
yet
iconic
to be
clown
made
laugh
aware
because
of
we
this.
were promised a
Jay
clown
likes
laugh and
puns.
he has not done one yet because
We
it
can
wasn't
easily
fun
get
enough
Jay to
yet.
laugh with a good pun.
I know, it's bullshit. I
So,
can't believe
Jay,
he
will
didn't
you-
laugh
Jay,
at Harry
will you-
Potter
will
and
you
dipping
please
Hermione in the
regale
hot
us?
sauce. I thought that was going to get him.
What's the difference between a tire and
Yeah, but none of
Oh,
us
I know.
what's the difference
This is the
between
moment where,
5,000
because
tyres
we're
and
having to
5,000
think
used
of
condoms?
puns, none of us can think
One's a
of
good
puns
yeah, the rest is a great yeah. I just thought it's tire related. Fucking tiring me.
The Americans put the tires in the sea.
Really?
I believe that's shitty.
That's brilliant. Explains a lot about the film, to be fair. It's
Jay?
a brilliant film.
Yes.
Does
Do
it
you know
explain
that
why they
the
decided
Blues
to bring
Brothers had a cocaine
M4
budget?
Shermans that were already out of date by the time the film was made?
Yeah, they had a budget
Get 2 guys that
for
were
cocaine.
like, why were they even being chased? I don't remember.
Does it explain why they ruined so many cars? This is a brilliant film.
Wasn't it something at the very beginning though that they just end up getting chased ridiculously? I haven't seen the Blues Brothers in so fucking long.
They were being chased because they just kept
Are
on
you
running lights and
One
getting
thing I
chased
will
Hold
by
on,
say
are
is
you
that
police or
saying
some
does the
shit.
cocaine
ruined it.
budget explain that? Because I think it does.
You can't beat John Belushi. Like, John Goodman's not dead. It's John Belushi that's dead. John Belushi died by a speedball.
I just remember, I don't know, I
John
just remember them
Belushi
singing Rawhide
replaced him because
53,000 times.
John Goodman replaced him because John
Yeah.
Belushi did a speedball, which is cocaine and heroin mixed. And he injected it, and he died in the Hollywood Hotel.
You shouldn't
You know,
speak
the
ill
Yeah,
of
big
the dead.
famous Hollywood
That's why
castle
John
type
Goodman.
hotel.
That's
He
why
died in
John
there.
Goodman replaced him.
Hold on, is it John Belushi that's dead? Shit. Why am I...
He's
Why?
full of coppers.
Stefan,
Yes, I
everyone,
know what
would
a
you like to
speedball
hear
is.
a review for a police station on Google? It's
Yes, dear.
no, it's a 5-star. It goes like this: got arrested
yes.
for not carrying my identity card.
Where?
Treated me very well. Cells are
Because
spacious and clean.
arrested
Food
for
was
not
okay, but
carrying an
rice for
ID
3
card,
times is a
that's
bit boring.
fucking Nazi
Handcuff
Germany, innit?
was a bit corroded, but it's okay. It does the job right. The officers are friendly. Overall, a nice experience.
He was arrested for not carrying an ID. Oh, Sri Lanka, that makes a lot of sense.
It's
They're the ones who
police
like to stone
station
gays, aren't they?
Oh, you
Kolopitia.
plan a visit?
So I'm having a look.
Or is that Get Gays Stoned? I don't know. No, that's the
Kolopitia.
Netherlands, that one.
Is in Colombo, Sri Lanka.
And I'm not being horrible to LGBT people, just so you know. Across the Pacific or not.
No, that explains a lot.
I don't like to be offensive to anybody.
Everyone gets
I don't
stoned
know
in
how
the
much
Netherlands.
cannabis
this
to
is
give
the
out.
new me. This is the new me that doesn't get as wound up by things.
No, let's just get everyone stoned.
I didn't kick off.
Is that
We
a
are
song?
offensive to everybody, but
It
we
was a
are
genuine
also
question.
inclusive to
Oh, no,
everybody as well.
BLT.
It was a genuine question that I've been thinking about. Like, what point is this going to end? But anyway, everybody's equal. Everybody's equal in.
You
the
say
fact
that after kicking off
multi-ability,
about
so-
COVID before.
I will
all
just
of this
say,
is done in just light-hearted fun.
we
Don't-
insult
don't do too
everybody.
much
We are
into it.
inclusive of everybody as well. So, yeah, everybody
Although
is
I am
equal.
interested in what's going on between the LGB and the LGBT.
Yeah, everybody's
communities now,
equal.
between
You're all
the two.
pricks.
There's a bit of a fucking civil war going on in there at the minute.
Everybody's a prick. Well, mainly
Everyone
because we
has
hate you.
the right to be who they want to be, as long as they don't.
There's always
rub
a
it in
civil
my
war
face.
going on somewhere.
Exactly.
Civil war is just an occupation at the minute.
Hey, some of them might.
Exactly.
Some of them might.
Everyone
Some of
has
them
the
might
right
be
to remain
attractive. You
silent.
never know.
Right.
I've been hit
On
by,
that, we'll end
people
with
of the
the
other sex.
horrible mental
Rub what on
image
your
of
face.
anything getting rubbed in Philip's face.
Shut
Enjoy
your
that
fucking
thought,
face,
people.
I'm a married man. She likes that look. Well, exactly. Somebody's got to.
I think.
Yeah, depends what you're into.
Shannon, are you blind? She's deaf.
Yeah? Yeah, Kyle, how do you know some of yours
Hello?
aren't blind?
Are you blind? She says she's not blind.
Somebody's got him. There's an exception in every room.
You can grab me wherever you want.
How do you know she's not
That's
blind?
a good sign. Right. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, everybody. We'll leave it there. You can grab us.
They probably
you
just
can,
did that
you
for
can
you,
grab
you
us. You can't grab us. You can find us on
Yeah, on
social
TikTok,
media,
apparently.
on
I'm not
Facebook,
on TikTok. I
Instagram.
haven't been here. I'm not even
TikTok,
here. I'm
Though
barely
I
even on
hate
here.
it.
Oh, Jesus.
Is Bebo still going?
What?
Bebo's still good.
Where you get this? Are we just,
According to Jay
are
on
we just
TikTok.
going to say a new thing that we're on that we're not every week?
Jay,
We'll
right?
apparently
Jay,
so.
try and
We're on
find my old
Patreon
profile
and email and
see
everything.
if it's still there. Can I just say that
Well, hold
Bebo
on.
is better than Facebook?
Has Jay reactivated?
When is
Has
Facebook
Jay
going to allow you to
reactivated closed
customize your
down
background
websites
and
just to
have
make us an account?
videos that automatically play that you can link from YouTube? Like, come on.
What?
I never used it.
And still a fit C there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you not see the thing?
Yeah.
Somebody tweeted and said, "I think when you log on to when you log on to your Facebook homepage, people that click on your profile should be able to put a piece of music there, your favorite bit of music, so then they can hear something that you like and learn a little bit about you." Somebody then retweeted that and went, "Holy shit, we're finally getting to the generation that doesn't know what the fuck MySpace and Bebo was."
When I was in high school. Do you not remember me being a rally driver in high school?
Yeah.
And having Miss Moss actually fucking believe in me? Nobody else fucking believed me.
Did that have an
engine?
engine?
But it was fun bullshit. Yeah, she was fucking always having vodka in her. High? I don't know about high. I never noticed any of that.
Did you do that to people as well?
Although saying that, I was high most of high school, so I was brilliant. I just
was drunk.
bullshitted everybody. I had a very boring life, so I just made up bullshit, and it was fun.
Yeah, but she was drunk and I
was
was
just making stuff up in high school, though.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, weed.
Yeah. You just abused me. Sat across me in form class and just
Yeah, but
abused
Phil
me
was
with the
exceptional.
videos.
It's not what high school is.
One of us two was getting kicked out of that form class every single day. It was usually you, but every now and again it was me.
I had a very boring life. I just made up bullshit.
This
and it was
is the
still boring.
interesting thing, because Kyle and Jay were in different form classes, whereas me and you were in the same
who-
form class.
most of
Even
the
though we
time.
weren't. Were we friends?
Who were kidding? Stefan's still bullshitting his
I
way
don't
through.
know if we
To be
were
fair,
friends.
everyone abused each
I don't
other.
think I was friends with any of you.
It was
No.
usually me.
weren't in the same circles. Although, mate, we didn't
I fell
abuse
asleep
each
in
other.
every form class, so you know.
Well, we did because we're British and that's what friends do. But Kyle was the only
Yeah,
one who
they
was
ma-
in my friendship group, and I think we abused each other more than
Anyway,
anybody else.
what?
Oh yeah. We
As
weren't
your dad
enemies.
liked to remind me about
No,
me
we
jumping
weren't
off
enemies,
or
though.
you jumping off the stage onto me.
I would say we were.
I still
I
really
would
don't
say we're
remember that,
definitely
you know. I really
acquaintances.
don't remember
We weren't best mates, but we were good
I
friends.
don't remember that at all.
Yeah, much.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
The thing is, there wasn't often I was in the dining hall. It wasn't often I was in
I
the
thought-
dining hall because I lost my dinner card and like halfway through year 9.
I
and then
don't
never
remember
got a
that
new
actual
one, and then
event. I
never
just,
ate
Dude,
I
that
just
was
sort of
heroic.
remember being in the
That was
principal's office
fucking
with
heroic.
a massive grin.
I remember
I got
that.
attacked by communist ninjas. The worst
I
kind
remember
of ninja,
hearing
the
a noise,
communist
looking
ninja.
across and seeing Kyle fly.
There is no
Yeah.
iron ninja, just we.
Yeah.
It's a ninja here.
Also, you got attacked by ninjas when you did go to the dining hall, so I don't blame you.
Ninja. That sounds like something from
Exactly.
Wakanda,
The worst kind.
It's a
It
Nwenja.
does. Nuinja and Wakanda. It sounds like the next door neighbor. You know, Wakanda
fucking hell.
and Nuinja.
Nwenja.
Kung Fu Panda. The communist Kung Fu
Yeah,
Panda.
right.
Fucking does.
Kyle, get fat, and then you can be the communist Kung Fu Panda. Sorry, fat
Nwenja.
shaman. Get chunky.
I feel it. That's
Oh,
racist.
God.
What panda?
Oh god, no.
Yeah, find the podcast. Don't find me.
I see a Black Panther.
Hey. Anyway, thank you
the
very
Kung
much
Fu
for
Panda.
listening. Find one on social media. Find one everywhere. Just
The
search
Kung Fu
Taken Off Air
Panda.
podcast. We are on most places now. Our website is currently down. Send a message or a comment or whatever you feel like if you want to suggest a topic or
Thanks,
even
Al.
just get in
By the way,
touch,
let's
ask for a
kill.
question. If you want to learn more about whatever you want, hello to the
You're
4
assuming
people
that people
in
only
Finland.
listen to us in the evening.
And
What about
thank you very
morning?
much
Have a
for
nice morning.
listening.
Have a nice day. Have a
Thank you
nice
very much
afternoon.
for
Have a
listening,
nice mood.
everybody.
Have a nice evening.
Have a wonderful evening. We hope we haven't ruined your night
That
with
may not
our
exist.
ramblings of
Just
2
do better
hours
for
or
that.
whatever.
Morgen, gute Nacht,
And goodbye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
If we are
Scheiße.
your wake up call, please let me know because we are the worst wake up call in the fucking world. Scheiße.
Finland doesn't exist though.